Oh, I had a thing on the agenda, but it wouldn't consent. He just said, just sit here and see if they.
Oh, no, no,
Take one of these so you kind of follow where we're going, so you know where I'm
well, I'm not gonna stay here the whole night.
What, you see we're seventh-and-eightieth?
Yeah, it's in consent.
Oh, so you wanna pull it off?
Well, I don't know.
But consent means already approved. You're objecting to that.
Yeah.
So how do you know that she's objecting to the consent 7 to 8? Okay, so that's good. That'd be pulled out straight away.
Alright. Anybody need an agenda?
I always need an agenda. Thank you. I'll leave it on my way out too. There's no one outside though, too.
Okay. We're ready to rock and roll. Where is everybody?
I'm online, but I didn't have to drive far.
Yes, please.
Oh, Connie. I'll be bringing your comment. No, I didn't. Connie's over there.
And my cat.
Patty,
They're
keep
on
moving.
I left them in the office so that I would have them, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I'll put them in my backpack.
I printed them.
I'm sorry, Holly. It's a new system for me again, so takes me a little while.
The new system is awful.
Oh, stop. Here.
I've been trying to download a folder. No, I don't want that. I've already read her comments. How come we can't have her read her comments, but we have to listen to Mickey?
Can you let me just solve for today at this point, please? Oh.
Joe and Kari are zooming. Carrie's right there.
Ray's mom.
Even a day from here. Ray's not here.
I just got in. Hiya.
Hey, Carrie.
Hi, thank you. I'm here.
Hi, Carrie.
I think we're,
Abby coming?
Yes. She was trying to get in touch with people because I guess when the agenda was posted downtown, it was put on that next week's agenda instead of.
okay. New systems, wonderful things. Okay, we'll get rolling. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Nantucket Historic District Commission, Tuesday, October 7th at 4:03 p.m. Anything you say, this meeting being audio video recorded, it's broadcast on the town's YouTube. Anything you say or share will be shown there. Please act accordingly. The HDC takes comments from the public at HDC public comment, all one word, at nantucket-ma.gov. Comments are due by 8 a.m. the Monday prior to the meeting if they're with respect to anything at the meeting. They're due by 8 a.m. Monday, period. Let's see, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
We'll vote President Angus, Val, myself, and Connie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this next one might be a little more tricky. Who do we have as recusals on consent?
Me.
Val?
Me.
Carrie?
Not me, Joe.
Yay, Joe. Phew. Okay,
Never
so,
me.
and never Connie. So it'll be Joe, Angus, Connie, and myself. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consents with the exception of number 3, 51, and 50.
3. I thought we were gonna get through Angus actually doing it without 350, I'm sorry, what was it?
Impossible. Impossible.
351,
50 and 51.
50. Oh, I'm perfectly ready to defend my decisions. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve consents except for
Oh, wait,
1 Cherry Street,
isn't that one of them?
30 North Beach Street hardscaping, hey guys, and 14 Silver Street hardscape. On the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Wait, there was one more that I wanted to add to it. It was actually one of mine. Yes, 2020, to be added to the list of 350 and 51.
27 Delaney Road,
Yes,
which you reviewed for consent and put on consent?
that's right.
Okay, just make sure I understand. Okay, can we get a motion to pull, I don't want to redo 2 votes on the consent. So can we get a motion to remove 7 Delaney, let's see, to reconsider the approval of number 27 Delaney Road, second dwelling in the consent. Same board as the prior vote. Is there a motion?
I make that motion.
Thanks, Joe and Angus co-motioners. And actually, we need to do this by, Joe, did I do a roll call vote last?
You didn't, but I spoke up when everybody else spoke up last time.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, that vote didn't count. So we're gonna just do it again. So Angus, your motion is from consents
Yes.
to pull 1 Cherry Street, which is number 3. Number 20,
Which is 7 Delaney.
7 Delaney's second dwelling. Number 50, 30 North Beach hardscaping, and number 51, 14 Silver Street hardscape.
That's correct.
Okay, on your motion.
Aye.
Connie?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay, now, we'll take up the matters of, let's get through consent with conditions before we go backwards. Who's a recusal on consent with conditions? Anyone?
Me, no, not me.
I think Luke had one.
Carrie?
Yep.
Okay. So it'll be Angus, Abby, Val, myself, and Connie.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt?
Is there something on consent with conditions?
Yes, sir. Bazudo, it's number 3 and 4, but my question is on number 3, where it says X window added to proposed porch gable, I'm just wondering what that refers to.
Oh, almost all of the gables had a 4-light, I think it was a 4-light window that was marked X.
Yeah.
And so it
X
was
type.
to repeat that same detail because there was a big opening of just shingle area.
So Robbie, he's looking for an X-type window in the gable indicated. Proposed
There-
porch gable.
So I'm confused. Could we look at that drawing?
Okay, let's pull that one. So we're gonna, motion please to approve consent with conditions sans number 3, 6 nonatum addition, okay? Is that somebody's motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's for the minute maker, Angus, Abby, Val, myself, and Connie.
So where will 7 and Bazudo's fall in the agenda now?
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna get through this other stuff. Signs. Let's see, do we have a motion to accept sign committee recommendation?
Mr. Chair, the sign council didn't have a quorum today, so they didn't meet.
No recommendations?
No recommendations at all.
Okay, so we don't need to act on number 3 signs. That's gonna bring us back on the agenda to 1 Cherry Street. Something, I just wanna make a comment, we're gonna have to pick this up in a future meeting as a discussion item, is that when consent items are items pulled from consent and fair representation would please be the topic.
Here.
Because
Second
if they get pulled from consent and people aren't here, but at the same time, maybe people should just show up. We can have a brief discussion as a commission to make a determination. It's not my role to make those decisions.
I'm here.
1 Cherry Street, Ethan is here. Would you be succinct as you always are, please?
Excuse me, do I get to say why I put it on consent?
You, my dear colleague,
Okay.
have a moment to,
Okay.
we're gonna go through our normal process whereby Ethan does his presentation, and then we ask questions so that if there's anyone who has a question, everyone benefits from the answer, and then you're first, okay?
It's Dr. Montos's new office and needs a handicap ramp, and that's where it's going because of the parking, the approved deck that it's going to. And that's the logical place you'd put it, because the grade drops off substantially on the opposite side.
Okay, and this is an ADA requirement under the
Yes.
building code, the commercial, IBC.
And he's also a foot doctor. You need to
Yeah.
get in the building.
Okay. Any questions on this one? Okay, Val?
I put it on consent because we had approved a ginormous deck on that side at one point when it was gonna be a brewery, and it is required for Dr. Monto, so I didn't think it was an issue.
Okay, so definition of consent, I just want to remind the commission is, as we voted on, is that a commissioner makes a reasonable determination that a majority of the board, of the commission would vote to approve the application as submitted or as submitted with conditions. So just a reminder, Angus, you pulled this, what was your concern?
So I think we all got the email about this, that as the plan shows, the ramp ends in the grass. And there's nothing about the rope, the ramp that is inappropriate. It's just saving time in a future meeting of having to deal with the hardscape at the end of the ramp.
Okay. Ethan?
The hardscape is a separate plan submitted by the landscape designer who's working on the parking, as you know, 88 parking, which requires a space and a half for the vehicle. And it can't be out in the street because it's the property's cut in half, that's where it's gonna go. And they are gonna submit their plan. We were waiting for this to prove so he can submit that, otherwise what's the point?
Okay, so hardscape with surface material yet to come.
Yeah, it's coming by the
Okay.
landscape designer.
Sounds good, thank you. It sounds like the question has been answered. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Thank you. We'll do the members here for these. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And just for these votes, it'll be Angus, Abby, Val, myself, and Connie. Number 27 Delaney, second dwelling. Robbie, you're here, thankfully, good. Let's see, Angus, you had put this on consent and now you want it to review it. Please, after Robbie speaks, you can, and he answers any questions we may have, you can go ahead.
It's 1,000 square foot second dwelling with a garage. It's in the back of the lot. This main house was approved a couple of weeks ago, so this is just continuing with the same, finishing up the same project, so.
Okay.
have.
Questions? Anyone? Angus?
Um,
Hold on.
Just we had gotten an email with a concern. Yeah, I had put it on the consent list because I felt that it was set back and not very visible and a smaller scale than the approved house. Yeah, that's where we are.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to have that. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you? I'm Katie Bedell. I'm at
Katie.
5 Delaney Road, and
Okay.
the main reason I'm here is because I never received notification about the main dwelling, the pool, and the demo and the move-off.
Okay.
And I found out about that when I received the notification for a secondary dwelling, which I have really not that many concerns about. It's more of the lack of not getting notification of the first large project and been able to look at it and to have any say in what happened. There's a waiver of a 10-day hearing requirement that was filled out. I mean, I didn't receive anything for
Okay, Kate,
that.
so thank you for sharing that. We understand your concern. it sounds like you've been in the office and you looked at the paperwork, but I would ask that you double check with staff because the procedure is that the abutters list is printed based on a preset formula of circumference and so on and so forth, and who's adjacent and who's not. And that it's a requirement that that be proof of that list and proof of mailing be turned in with an application. So if you could please check with the office and then let's see if we can figure out what happened. I'm not suggesting this happened with you, but I do want people to be aware that the tax assessor data is not, you may have lived in your home for years, I don't know. But this is an opportunity for me to mention, the tax assessor data is not updated instantaneously at point of sale. It can take, I think it's 9 to 12 months, depending on the cycle, for the information to be updated. So notices will be sent to the prior owner. I just want to mention that because there's an opportunity, but for you, please check in the office, double check the paperwork. If there's a concern or the issue, then staff can bring it to my attention as the chair. We don't usually get involved in the mechanics. We won't know what's in that folder until it's brought to our attention.
My main concern about the main property, which I know is not on for tonight, but I never had a chance to say anything about it. I thought the height was a little bit high, and I also thought that I wanted to see what the screening was for the pool, because I'm right next door, and the fence that's up now that divides our yard, I really have 2 feet over on their side, so I would like to move the fence over, so it's really, I take my property back.
Sure, okay,
So
so
that's something I would like to make sure that is on the plan.
if I can help you with that, again, I'm gonna direct you to staff in the office because they can pull the file. You can review the plan, the pool approval plan. The height of the structure of the main house is something that's been approved. There's nothing we can do to go back and address that. However, I think at this point, the fence, what you would need to do is if you want to relocate it, again, when you're talking to staff, find out what's required to submit an application, relocating the fence. It may be as simple as taking images, it's an existing condition, and drawing a line on the photo based upon an estimate of a survey, and then turning it in with the appropriate fee, and we'll take it from there. Okay? Thank you for coming in, and we'll look forward to finding out what happened.
Mr. Chairman, may I? Katie, I'm sorry you didn't get the mailing, but I have 2 envelopes that were returned to me, the certified mail, that says it was undeliverable. So
Okay, so Robbie, what I would ask is if you would be so kind, is to snap a picture of those.
Sure.
And email them to Kathy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
And,
the only.
or
one
Holly,
around.
because, why don't you email to Kathy and Holly?
Okay.
And then we can try and suss that out when you stop in the
Right.
office.
I mean, because I'm year round, I work for the town, I mean,
Sure.
it could have just been thrown in my mailbox, so I had enough notice to attend or look at the
Okay, well,
plans.
it does have to be certified mail, so.
No, I know that, but if it got sent back, I mean,
And
Yeah.
Katie, you must be on the Gingy Lane side. Number 5 is towards town or
No.
towards Cliff Road?
no, towards Darrymore. I'm right next door.
Across the,
You're-
street.
Nope, right next door.
Yeah, but number 7 is
Guys,
number
on
5
the
to the
crosstalk, it's not relevant
Thank
to
you.
what we're doing.
pool's in the left-hand corner away from you.
So but please check the plans there and we can follow up if you need some additional, okay, thank you. So we're back to 7 Delaney Road, second dwelling. The abutter doesn't have a concern with it. Angus, you responded to, I believe it was that letter. Do you have a concern with the second dwelling? And if so, please state it.
That was my only concern, was just the neighbor being properly notified. Sounds like all that was together, and I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, thank you. Again, same board as the last vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We're now on to 30 North Beach Street. Is Matt here? I didn't see him. Oh, that one is Mirka. That was an arbor. Okay, why don't we hold that for a half hour? Why don't we hold that for an hour, given that it was on consent and she may not be aware she needs to get here?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I emailed the folks that are on the
Okay.
22 one. She already has an application to be reviewed tonight anyway, so I did email her.
Okay, so we'll hold that, and I don't see Julie here, 14 Silver, for, I don't know, we'll say 5:30 PM out of fairness. And if they're a little later, then they're a little later. we're typically holding applications for a half hour if someone is on the agenda and they don't show up, but this is a kind of a different situation. Okay, we are now on to consent with conditions, number 3, 6 Nonantum. And Robbie, that you have, we have the pleasure of seeing, are you settled with that?
I'm still here. No, I'd like to understand what Angus is referring to because
Can we just pull up the elevation as opposed to
I'm easily
talking?
confused.
6 Nantucket.
6,
Yeah.
the addition. Is there a porch gable?
That's what's confusing me.
I got that, but there isn't?
There's a deck, there's a second level deck with a gable on it, but, let's see what,
Okay. Yeah, I was just
Friend
trying to
Angus
suss it
wants to
out
do.
for the sake of time in advance. Angus, is it possible that it's the gable over the deck?
It's a gable that was, I think, on the front. It's a porch that maybe was going from a shed
Oh.
to a gable.
you mean over the front door?
Probably.
There's a little, almost,
Gable?
gabled pent over the front door. You want to add a window in that?
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
an X type.
Just like the one that's
It's
on the
like all
side.
the other gables that
There's
have
a
the little
tiny
four-light.
one. I think there's only one gable that has that little window in it.
You see how the dream comes together when we're a team? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Angus, how about a motion?
Motion to approve as stated in consents with conditions.
Okay,
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Same board, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we're off signs. Commissioner Q&A with Preservation Planner. Does anyone have questions for Holly on staff comments submitted? Anyone?
Well, it's hard to remember. I'm finding this system hard because you read.
Val, I don't want to rehash this every single
Oh, I
time.
know,
Do
we
you have a
did, we don't ever
question?
want to discuss it, it's
Do
fine.
you have a question?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I actually have been given permission to stay longer per the deputy director
Okay.
today for some of the applications that are before you, but from a CLG perspective, I did want to mention to the commission that a few months ago, earlier this year, you all reviewed, as well as the Sign Advisory Council, a reface change of the Walter Beinecke plaque downtown. And with that, this weekend at the First Congregational Church from 1 to 3, there's going to be a celebration of this, as well as there'll be a few speakers. I have the privilege of being one of them on behalf of the town. And they're also going to open up the church spire. But one of the ties between the church and Mr. Beinecke is that the new plaque has the church in the background, and this is the church's 300th anniversary.
Wow.
So I just wanted to mention that it's open to the public from 1 to 3.
Thank you. Let's see, we are on to new business of August 23rd for East Lincoln Ave, revisions to driveway. Stephen? They'll have this one for review for consent, so she'll go first after questions.
Good evening. So here's just a minor modification to the existing driveway. The driveway's been there when the guest house was moved. The new design, the owner wished to have an additional parking space. He's only required 2 parking spaces under the second dwelling approval for this lot, which we all know downtown is pretty tight in this particular neighborhood. So he asked the surveyor to design one of the smaller compact car parking spaces to come in from the driveway. That widened the apron entrance to the driveway. We've met all the proper access requirements according to the planning board. The additional parking space is shell to match the existing. So it'll look similar to all the surrounding houses and neighbors that are there, just adding one smaller parking space to the existing approved plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see, questions? Anyone?
My concern was that there were no photos of the existing condition, so I couldn't make a judgment on it.
Okay, thank you. So that's Val's comment. Mickey,
Yes, thank you.
you guys got anything?
Yep. So this is Mickey Rowland, representing the Historic Structures Advisory Group, which is myself, Jason Finger, Mary Bergman, and Marcia Fader. So most driveways on East Lincoln are single wide. And so we would prefer to keep this one matching the rest of the neighborhood. The second space is also really tight to the house. No room for much vegetation, if any, between the driveway and the steps. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mickey. Val, did you have anything to add?
No, I didn't have pictures, so I couldn't review it.
Okay, but nothing to add to that. Who'd like to go? It's members here and Joe.
I'm happy to go. Angus. So I agree with what's been said, that the widening is out of character, and so yeah, that's just my concern.
We didn't have any pictures. I couldn't tell.
Excuse me. There was a photo on the screen that was submitted.
Could I ask a question? What was the width of this driveway before it was enlarged?
It's 12 feet.
So, and is that little extension, is that towards the house that?
Yeah,
is gonna-
yes,
yeah.
width of a car. The smallest width of a car, the 7 by 14, whatever the requirement is there, yes.
So it looks like you added about 3 feet or 4 feet to the
Yes.
7. Okay.
My client just doesn't want to park on the street.
This is a picture of the,
Yes.
okay. All right, so it's going from, this is existing,
Yes.
and you want to add 7 feet to the right.
Yeah.
Going back
is it
towards the
7 feet
picket
plus or
fence.
minus to the right, on the right-hand side,
Okay.
yes.
I just wanted to understand the situation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Val, you're not going to comment further. Joe?
Well, the driveway is exposed and open right now. And I think I'd be open to the wider drive with the parking towards the street. If there was then some kind of maybe there's a gate that stops the eye from going all the way back to the guest cottage. And maybe there's a way to, you could continue a car through there, but we're seeing 2 parking spaces on the street versus right now our eyes opened up to the whole side of the yard. So I guess visually screening it so that you're not seeing the full depth of the driveway would mitigate my concerns about the driveway widening, if that makes sense.
There will be a hedge line in front of the whole entire house that runs to the opening of the driveway. It's not just going to be the house sitting on the naked street.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Let's see, I think that leaves, Abby, you want?
Yeah, I'm probably going to make a motion to ask for more information.
Okay, I want to see, I mean, this is like really simple. Let's please look at the site plan. Do we have a site plan? And make a determination. I mean, we can look at a site plan and make a determination as the authority having jurisdiction as to what we want to see there as appropriate. Holly's comments indicate that this is atypical but approvable. I think that was basically what she said. So I don't, carrying over simple matters, I don't think is a good use of our time. Site plan?
So, Mr. Chair, on the site plan, you can see where the driveway comes in, there's a patch of grass that runs alongside where that landing is, which softens the width of the driveway, so it does reduce down as it goes further back into the lot. And across the front of the building, there will be a hedge to screen the house from the street.
Okay, is there anyone who's concerned with having a hedge in front of this to mitigate the view, which isn't shown in the images because the work is still going on?
I think what's important to remember is the house isn't there yet.
Correct.
Okay, and on the point of screening, guys, it's a driveway in front of a house. Like,
That's one of the problems.
and it's, I mean, it's not, it's also not showing the screening, but we can indicate
I
the
think
screening.
once the house is there, it's a different scenario. It was unclear whether the house was there or not until I drove by today. So now I don't have the concern that I had originally.
Okay, thank you. Joe?
Yeah, I think the landscape screening will help, and I do think we have to factor in the fact that we'll have some more off-street parking here, which that does affect the feeling of the neighborhood in a positive way. So I'm okay with it as drawn.
Okay, do we have a motion? Perhaps an Exhibit A
I don't know what the exhibit A would be,
to
but
show some screening?
motion to approve is submitted.
I'd like to second that for discussion. Are you amenable to just doing an Exhibit A that shows screening in the front, which Steve has already volunteered will be happening?
Okay?
Okay, so Val's motion is to approve is submitted subject to vegetation across the front of the property where the driveway is not, shown as Exhibit A.
Agreed.
Okay, Val, on your motion?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Angus?
No.
And Abby?
I'm a no.
Okay, so we have for the record, Abby and Angus, no, and I'm a yes, carries 3-2.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now on to 25 Prospect Street. Hold until 10:21. And 25 Prospect Street, again, one is a demo move-off dwelling, the first one, the other is a demo move-off shed. And boom, that is also hold till October 21st, which brings us to 9 Nobadeer Way. The alternate sitting will be Carrie, so Abby, Angus, Carrie. Let's see, me, Vale. And I just want to remind you guys, no crosstalk. Please wait to be recognized by the chair, and we can move through these 5 or 6 applications. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr.
How you
Chair.
doing, Chris?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Great.
Why don't you start us off with the demo move off of the main house?
Perfect. So this is you have an existing ranch and an existing garage. My records show 1954, circa 1954 on the ranch dwelling. And just to be clear, we would rather not demo it. So we're actually actively talking to a few people as we speak about it. I think we have somebody who already wants the garage, and then we're just kind of getting some quotes and some survey work done to move the house. But in the chance that we're unable to move it for some reason or something were to fall through, we just wanted to be able to come here with the possible ability to demo as opposed to just the move off on both of these applications. The structure is, it needs new roof, new windows, new siding. Floor joists are rotted the way that the current structure sits. However, we understand, and again, we would like to save it if we can, but we're here just in case we can't.
Okay, great, thank you. Questions for Chris? All right, let's see, Val. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This was, Carrie, you had this?
Yeah, I did. And it was just because it's such a large scope of work over the entire property. I was not going to take that on by myself.
Fair enough.
But I don't have a real issue with taking this building down, but I do obviously appreciate anybody taking it and that be the main effort.
Okay, when you say taking it down, I just want to make sure I'm clear. You're talking
Sorry,
subject.
demo or move is fine.
Move, thank you. Okay, Carrie, Val.
I hope it gets reused. It was Mr. Keenan's house.
Okay. Thank you. Abby?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention the scale of the building, and that what is proposed should be appropriate to that neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Angus?
Yeah, so since this dates from the period of significance and is a contributing structure, I'm glad to hear that the applicant is motivated to move, and that's what I would be in favor of.
Okay, thank you. I just want to point out that the HDC is actually, the commission is the determiner of the contributing status. The surveys are being done and are being updated, but according to the act, the HDC is the determining factor, or the determining party. Again, we are the authority having jurisdiction. Let's see, who's left? I guess just me. Yeah, I'd love to see this thing reused. It goes through a process with the town of being posted and advertised, and anyone has an opportunity to speak up on it. And we have the information we need for that to happen. So although, we'll miss a ranch, and I mean that in earnest, like these structures are going, I'm okay with it. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a move only, see what happens.
Okay. Let's see, we'll do a voice vote. Abby?
I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Angus?
Aye.
Mel?
Nope.
Carrie?
Aye.
And I'm a no. So record reflect 3 in favor, 2 opposed, Val and myself. So you've got to move, so get to advertising and see what happens. And then I presume if no one's interested, you can wait the X amount of days you're going to be waiting anyways and come in with an application for a demo. Okay?
Sounds good.
We are now on to the demo move-off garage. And you can begin when you see the site plan on the screen, Chris.
Okay.
Same board?
So generally, same comments.
Okay.
And we do have, this should be, obviously, I think probably influenced it a little bit on that last one, but we should be able to move this one. It's a little easier just between the width and length, and should be able to be picked up pretty easily. So that's kind of the same idea.
Okay, great. Let's see. Carrie, you had this. Why don't you speak first on them?
Yeah, same thing as before.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got nothing else to add.
Okay, Val, so you have no concerns?
No.
Val,
No, I'm good with this.
does anyone have concerns? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, Val, on your motion?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
I'm an aye.
And I'm an aye, that carries unanimously. We're now on to the new primary dwelling. Same address, same board. It's almost like Groundhog Day.
We'll wait.
When you see it on the screen. And site plan, and then we'll go right to elevations.
Great. I think that's the demo for the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Fiona. Okay, so I'll kind of speak just quickly about what's happening on the lot, just because it will be for all three buildings. So just to give a quick understanding, so you obviously just saw the previous structures, the garage and the existing ranch, and kind of in keeping with this area, it is an R10 area. This lot is an oversized lot. It is a 15,000 square foot lot. On the street, for the most part, I would say there's ranches, 1.5-story dwellings. Directly across the street, there is a 2-story with a ranch behind it and another ranch coming that's going to end up being built soon. Kind of the idea of this whole property is because of the size of it and just the current location of the existing houses and how the parking was kind of working, it kind of made more sense to separate the dwellings the way that we did. So the one that's in front of you is in keeping with the existing structures being, I would say, very simple on this street. It is just a single-story ranch. It is 42 feet and 50 feet in length. It's 18 feet, 8 inches in height. It's all going to be white windows, white trim, charcoal gray roof, blue door. And, I would say pretty, again, kind of keeping with the area, pretty simple structure on how we're looking at doing this. And just a general comment with the 3 structures kind of being, important with it. We also understand with the layout of the lot and, probably from some feedback and some different applications that have gone in that have been similar recently, we're also very willing and upfront to say this, where, we're happy with the 1-story structure going more towards the front of on Nobadir, as opposed to what you'll see on the next application, which is the 1.5-story structure on the front. And again, keeping with HDC, we wanted to make sure that the garage stayed basically where the existing garage was, the new garage accessory dwelling unit that you'll see coming up here too. So, we feel strongly about that one staying where it is. It's pretty far off the road. And then these 2, just giving kind of adequate yard space for the 3 dwellings that are going there. But again, this one's pretty simple. And again, we're amenable to having this be on the front and switched with the 1.5-story as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Let's see, Carrie?
Yeah, in fact, I was thinking that when I was reviewing this for consent, like I was wondering why the ranch wasn't in the front, because this is a ranch neighborhood. And if that can be made to happen, Chris, I think that would be great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have no problem with that at all. It's actually, to be frank, I should have done it in the first place. So
one more little thing is it also makes me think that maybe some of the parking won't be right on the street like that, that maybe the house will be along and some of the parking would be behind it. Just because the overall site plan, there's a lot of parking visible, like right out all along the whole side of the property.
Yeah, if we did switch the 2 properties and I put the ranch basically where the 1.5-story is, what I would end up doing with the parking is you still have the 25 feet off the road like that's existing. A lot of people park in front of the buildings, but what we could easily do with this is go 20 feet, we'll go the 42 feet on the length, and then I can start staggering the parking basically behind it for this structure as an example, and then kind of go back and with the other structures pretty easily.
That sounds ideal.
Thanks, Carrie. So Chris, it sounds like what we're doing is we're talking about swapping some locations. So what I want to do, and when I say I'm not talking about Stephen Welch. I'm facilitating the meeting. I just want to be clear. What I want to do is kind of go through, look at the architecture, get you to clarify, generally where on the site relative to what's shown it will be, and then we'll bring them in for a final review.
Sure.
Or they can be reviewed by Carrie for consent. The revisions can be reviewed by Carrie for consent. If we can do that.
Right.
And if she wants to move them back to the board, she can, and because we'll already have looked at the architectural elements. Okay?
Great, thank you.
All right, so why don't we move on? So we're going to hold pending relocation and some driveway area modifications.
Sure.
The ranch, that moves us to the new secondary dwelling.
Yeah.
By the way, architecture, I think it's great, very sensitive to the area. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
Same board.
Okay, so imagine this one in the back. So it's a one and a half story structure on the property. Again, tried to keep it pretty low. We did an 812 pitch with this 512 dormered cape. It's only 28 feet in length with we had put a small little side porch on it. It is just about roughly 25 feet in height. 770 square feet on the footprint. So, smaller scale in size, I would say, at the end of the day. And it is going to be matching to everything else, which is natural to weather. As far as the sidewall, white trim, white sash, Hamilton blue door, and a charcoal gray roof. And pretty simple. So.
Okay, who'd like to go?
I will.
Any concerns, Val?
No,
Thank you,
I
Fiona.
think switching the main house to the road and making it go lengthwise and putting these in the back is approvable. We could do an Exhibit A on a site plan and be done with it. They're both about the same height. I think they're great.
Okay, thank you. And I'll pick up that topic after of the review of all three of them after this one. Does anyone have any concerns with the structure, architectural elements, or location?
My only concern is the same as the last one, which would be having 6/6 instead of 2/2s.
Okay. Any concerns with that, Chris?
I know this isn't, could we do 6/none? Maybe?
6/1, I'm sorry?
Yeah, 6/1,
Okay,
if
I thought you were
possible.
saying 6/9. I was like, boy, that'll look
It's
classy.
employee housing, I'm just trying to save
Okay.
$300 a month.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling we can horse trade. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this one open and based on Dale's suggestion, and we'll pick up the new garage ADU. And same thing, if we could just go to please actually, Fiona, if you can go to the elevation first and zoom out, and then we'll look at the site plan to wrap up maybe the three of them, see if there's an appetite for an Exhibit A. And then we'll vote the group, including 6/1 or as it may be, 6/6.
So there's, again, there's an existing garage there. So this is just kind of, adding an apartment. And it's an ADU above what would have been the existing garage. We did all white trim, same matching everything else. Doors, we were going to do just painted white on the doors. That's okay. And then, height-wise, it basically matches the other cottage, which is just about 25 feet as well. It is 26 feet. It's, again, 806 square feet in total on the size, and it's pushed back basically as far back off the property line as we could do it.
Okay, thank you. Carrie?
Yep,
Okay.
it's good.
Does anyone have any concerns
No,
other than location? Okay.
Just the windows.
I
Can
went
we go to
through
the
there
site plan, please?
today and it really is gonna fit in with the two house, the flip, the smaller house, lower house on the street.
Okay. Bill, are you comfortable? Okay, first of all, I just want to briefly discuss what the concept is, looking at the site plan, is to move the one-story ranch to the front, turn it the length parallel to Nobadir, and rearrange the parking. What I'd like to suggest is we generally locate the three structures. I think we should just get a plan. We should just get a site plan that shows dimensions. It's gonna be a simple thing. Carrie can review it. That way you can do your parking with a little bit more time to think through. I think Vale had a great idea, but we wouldn't normally just not have dimensions from the site, from the property lines and different things
That's
on
fine.
a structure, so you good with that?
That's fine. That's
And
fine.
get it in, and then we'll take it to Carrie for a review for consent. If it's consentable, great. If there's something she needs to get more information on, she can communicate with you through staff, and then we can go from there.
That's simple. I have no problem doing that. I have a parking plan ready to go, so.
Okay, so we're gonna hold, I think what I'd like to do is get a motion for all three for relocation, revisions, and hardscape, including the driveway.
So moved.
On your motion, Angus.
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
So
Okay.
the architecture is fine, we're not changing anything, he's just gonna revamp the plan.
Yeah, and he's gonna double check parking areas, relocate those, and then it can come back in, and again, it can be reviewed for, any of these with revisions can be reviewed for consent.
Okay.
But we're
Thank you,
gonna
everyone.
direct it to Carrie since she had it first.
All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone.
All right, let's see. We are now on to 87 Main Street. Collaborative color change. Is Nina with us on the Zoom?
I don't see her on Zoom. I don't think she's in the audience.
Okay, so we'll hold for a half hour. So let's call it 5:20. I want to go back. Oh, no, Matt. Hey, Matt, Miraca, you said Miraca's going to be here later? Okay, so we'll hold Miraca and Julie's. That puts us on 6 Broad Street, rooftop solar. Tobias, good evening.
Good evening, members of the board.
Welcome to the HDC.
Oh, God, it's like I've never been here.
Oh, almost.
We're looking at doing solar for Young's Bicycle Shop, trying to move from the psychological way to see the island to the ecological way. We've located solar on the back structures of the building. You can see from these photos, the roof has had quite a bit of wind damage on the gray asphalt shingles. So we're proposing switching, the roof is going to be redone in addition to this project with a black asphalt shingle. We've reviewed this with the fire department and they are good with it. And this is the design we have.
Okay, great, thank you. Any questions for Holly? Mickey, oh, I have a question. You said something about psychology. Do these recharge your brain if you go near them?
They
Does this
do.
Makes
They
you feel
do.
better?
They do. They actually work with the smart meter to make you extra smart.
Oh, even better, okay. Mickey, does your group have anything?
We do. So this is really visible from Oak Street and Easy Street. We'd all love to see a lot of solar, but right downtown, this is really quite visible. It's a lot of panels. And that back building, I believe the solar guidelines say that the panels should be on sort of secondary masses and secondary buildings or pieces of the building. And from Oak Street, this is such a big building, it doesn't really even read as a secondary structure. It just looks as a big main building. So I don't know, I'm not, I kind of would like to leave it up to you guys. Does it fit into the guidelines or not? We're kind of feeling like it's really visible and maybe it doesn't really fit in. So you can, and it does look like there's room to add more panels to that middle section, the connector, and possibly even some to the main building, the front building triangular area to the right of the roof. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mickey. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's helpful, this picture with the cars there. Okay, so the board is Abby, Angus, Joe, myself, and Val. And let's see, who reviewed this?
Chairman Welch, could I just
I did.
add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, quickly.
Just really quickly, the board included photos of it as well. It has, just in terms of the visibility, has already approved the construction of a building right on Oak Street. That's 2.5 stories. That will kind of, there's an open lot there with a small shed. It was subdivided, and I included that in the packet so that this view plane. Happy to make some adjustments if the board would like. This view plane will be blocked.
Okay, thank you, Tobias. Joe?
No, I just mentioned that I had reviewed this for consent. Would you like me to speak on it?
Yeah, please.
Sure. Well, I think at first glance, it looks like it meets the guidelines because there's nothing on the front per se. And appreciate the fact that it's on the interior roof planes. The view from Oak Street, it will be there, but there's a lot of non-historic, we'll call it mechanical elements that are visible through the Nantucket's alleyways. And there is a building, as Tobias pointed out, that's approved to kind of screen this. So I felt like it was enough to bring it before the board, but I didn't have major concerns. I was wondering whether or not the panels, which are on the left side of the image that's on the screen, if they flipped to the interior, they'd be less visible from Oak Street, but then you might catch a glimpse on Broad. I just don't see a lot of visibility from the main thoroughfare on Broad Street. Oak Street is not heavily traveled, so I think I'm mostly okay with this.
Okay, thank you. Mel?
I think there are some things that are happening that are very positive here. One, they're changing the roof to black. You don't see it on Broad Street, which is also a high facade, so I don't think you'd see them there anyway. And we did approve a building there, and I think it is the rear of the building, and I think it meets our guidelines, so I'm okay with it.
Okay, thanks. Angus?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question would be how visible and how functional would it be for what I think would be visible from Oak Street without the building? Is this a slight enough slope that it could be effective? And to Mickey's point, could either of these spaces be used to try to use for the solar?
Yeah, so we've designed it to meet the usage of the building that's most efficient. That main, on that larger section there, if we switch to the north side of the roof, it would be significantly less efficient. So that's why we've designed it this way. My clients, I think one thing, and I know the board wants to see the panels filled out, so if you would like, we could maybe remove that vent pipe there and fill in one more panel I think, I really don't think you're going to see this building in the long term, but in the short term, you are going to see the array for a little bit.
Thank you.
I acknowledge that.
Thank you. Abby?
I think removing the vent would be great. I have nothing to add. I think it's going to be fine.
Thanks, Abby. So that leaves me, I believe that it meets the guidelines. I believe that there is a higher level of sensitivity in the old historic district such that removal or relocation rather of the vent pipe is appropriate, filling in that little sawtooth piece, get rid of the David Letterman effect. And I will say that if this were a budding oak, the rear of the building, that it would be, I would have a different decision-making process as perhaps all of us would, because although it may meet the guidelines generally, there are, again, more sensitive topics in the old historic district. I'm good with it. And do we have a motion to approve subject to relocating the vent to a different roof plane and filling in the blank space?
And having the roof black?
That's part of the application.
Dual black.
Dual black. Val, that's your motion?
Yeah.
Okay, on your motion?
Aye.
And Joe?
Aye.
And Abby?
Aye.
Angus?
No.
Angus, for the record, is a no, and I'm an aye. Thanks, Tobias.
Very intelligent, logical. Thank you.
Oh, we'll see, because the smart meter got us going here. Let's see, we're on to 4 East Lincoln. This was a view Val had it. Did anyone not view it? If you didn't view it, I'd like to activate an associate.
I did not get to see it, Steve.
Okay, so I won't put you on.
Yeah.
Abby, Angus, you viewed?
Sorry, what are we, where are we?
For Fairgrounds.
For Fairgrounds.
Oh, sorry, I'm a literalist. It's just how my brain works.
For East Lincoln.
For East Lincoln is the application.
Yeah, no, I'm good with this.
Okay, good with it,
Did
as
you go
in
see
you
it?
want to
No,
approve
no,
it,
no.
or?
No, not,
you-
I'm
you-
good to be
okay.
on it.
Okay, thank you. So Abby, Angus, Val, me, and Connie? Okay, so Connie. There we go. Look at that. There's 5 of us. Magic. Steve, why don't you walk us through this succinctly, and then we'll
Sure. We
try
have
to
a
do the
couple of
same.
minor window and door changes here, as well as the addition of an outdoor shower. Outdoor shower was located on the left-hand side of the house, pushed back as far as possible between the, just past the side entrance door. It's shielded by a little pergola on top because it's underneath the window from a second floor area above. But now that everybody knows that there's going to be a hedge going across the front of the property, this helps mitigate the view of that outdoor shower. Basically, you've got some small window changes. One window got smaller, a door and a window flipped on the back side. There's an additional window added. I've submitted some pictures of the upper gable windows that the owner wishes to add to the front gable, which is pretty typical for the area. As you can see, there's about 5 or 6 different windows in similar situations. And the owner had asked for an addition of shutters on the second floor, which there's one example that's shown there in the photo that is submitted. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, any questions, including for Holly?
Oh, there was one question about whether there were any examples that you could find of, in a situation like this with shutters on the doors facing the street.
I just submit it right in the packet, Annika, right there.
Oh,
Oh, so, do you want this back?
Pictures, anything else
thank
while you're
you,
waiting?
that's all.
Okay, Abby?
Comments? Or-
Yes,
Yeah.
generally and specifically?
Yeah, I think the French doors over the front door with the shutters is a bit much. I prefer the original design.
Okay,
Just to clarify that, Mr. Chairman, the French doors are approved. It's just the shutters that were added.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it
think
just-
Abby's comment's still valid, but they're going to stay.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay, Val?
Yeah, I had this as my consent.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
There wasn't any pictures, so I went by. I think for me, it's just the shutters with those upstairs doors. There is one example that Steve showed and plenty of shutters on buildings on the street. I just felt like it feels kind of busy and crammed in. So my only concern would be the shutters. Everything else seems okay. Appropriate.
Connie?
Same as Val. Okay with the outdoor shower, the shutters may be overkill.
We're okay with removing the shutters. I can put an X through them, no problem.
Holly, your question, one of your questions was how are the generators covered or louvered? Covered. Okay, I thought so. I wasn't sure. And the answer is?
It's the same screening system that was approved to hide the HVAC.
Okay,
It's
and
a
then
lattice, it's a lattice weave.
And you did provide images, an image of the second floor shutters. I think I agree with Holly. I think the shutters are atypical. I think they're approvable. You know, this isn't, I think they're approvable. It's, not everything needs to be vanilla. Everything's gray and white as it is. Do we have someone else?
Mickey Roll.
Oh, Mickey, I'm so sorry. Do you have something you want to add?
Well, we had similar concerns. We felt that the shutters were not typical facing the street on a French door. That's almost never, I'm not sure I've ever seen that. And also on the west side, there's a new mullion window, small mullion. It doesn't really fit in with the others. And it's a mullion window on the second floor. It just seemed inappropriate. So that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. What's the pleasure of the board?
So can I comment? I mean, I had
Yeah. I'm
questions,
sorry.
but, I'm fine with all the proposed changes except for the shutters. And the pergola seem oversized and kind of atypical anyway to begin with. Doesn't sound like anyone else shares that concern. So I would make a motion to, have you already commented, Steve?
I think I did.
I'll make a motion to
I
approve.
think I went ahead of you. Silly me.
Make a motion to approve as submitted with the exception of the shutters.
Okay. We'll do a, we're all here vote. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously.
Thank you.
You have got an approval shutterless. Okay, you're still here, so you're on Fort Kendrick. And Val, was your determining consentable or not?
It was lack of photos again.
Okay, I think Steve is sensing a trend here.
No, I spoke to Steve.
Yeah, I know
We
I'm
spoke,
saying
we
it.
spoke earlier today.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
And
The
I
owner,
went by and you can see it from the street.
yeah, through the driveway.
Okay.
And this is why the owner wishes to add additional screening, more screening than what was previously approved to the application. We did clean up a few items here. We removed the fire pit that was floating out in the middle of the yard that was approved. The previous applications, the other two or three applications, I don't remember how many of them were approved on consent due to lack of visibility. And now the visibility is going to get even less visible from the road with the addition of the screening along that front area, as you can see with the shrubbery.
Okay. Let's see, the board is Abby, Angus, Carrie, me, and Val. Does anyone have any concerns?
I think if we put the caveat, can't be seen at time of inspection and thereafter, we'd be covered.
Not visible time of inspection or thereafter is the motion. Is there anyone who wants to second that for discussion? Not that I'm suggesting we need to, but we went a little quick to the motion, so I want to make sure we. Okay, on the motion, Carrie,
Aye.
aye. Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay,
Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
And just like that, we're on 27 Baxter. Who knew? Fence gate, hardscape. Hey, Elizabeth. Good evening. You know the drill.
What was the restriction?
It's not visible.
Oh, yeah. Can I do that? Steve?
So this is an application for a swimming pool in a backyard and some gates. There's a very well-established hedge on this property. I think it's 5 feet wide. We are proposing to put a solid board fence in the, wait a minute, sorry, wrong project. Okay,
Fence gate, hardscape.
yeah, so, okay, so, yeah, this house is well on the way.
Nice save, Elizabeth.
So we have a little vegetable garden in the front, or cutting garden. There was also a very well-established hedge here, and we plan on putting on back in the front. This is an area where people keep walking by this house, and I think it used to be somewhat manageable, but because of Instagram, it's become more and more intrusive. So they'd like to put a fence along their property line there, and again, put a hedge to screen that. And then there's a little bit of grading in the back and a couple of steps to accommodate the grade change. And that the deck was approved with the house. And then the pavers would be irregular granite to make it look, with split edges to make it look worn on the walkways to the walkway to the front door. And there's a little apron at the garage.
Okay, thank you. Did we have anything from Rob on this? I don't remember. Okay. Does anyone have any concerns? Well, actually, Abby, you had it for consent. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, originally, I think it's, I'm trying not to use the word nice. It's a good design, and I like the approach off Baxter Road. I was concerned about the wooden fence, and it's a little bit hard to read your drawing, so I wanted to know exactly where that wooden fence was.
So the one for the privacy is the one that that runs along the top of the drawing, where there's a lot of labels being pulled off. You can see the posts are sort of highlighted.
Is that the street?
Yeah, that's what I was concerned
No, it's not
about.
the street. It's where people are just walking through the yard. So it's the top of the drawing, right above the house there.
That's the right of way for the public
Yeah,
walk?
exactly. It's for the bluff walk.
Okay.
So people
there-
just enter the property and just walk by there all day long.
Okay.
So I don't know what the precedence for that is. I think it might be a bit unusual. So I didn't put it on consent.
Okay, and so you, in addition, have a concern or no?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm clear and Elizabeth's clear. Okay, so the board is going to be Abby, of course, Angus, Joe, myself, and Val. Val?
I'm still trying to figure out where the fence is going to, sorry. I didn't look at this one ahead of time.
Elizabeth, will you approach the bench and get the red laser, please? From Angus, our red laser carrier.
And I want to know, more importantly, why is it on social media? Who's the influencer? Why are they putting it on there?
think it's you. So this is the line of solid fence here.
And that's the road? Show where the road is.
The road is here.
Baxter Road's there.
Baxter Road is there, and then you see we put the hedge all on the outside.
Okay.
So for the public view's sake, it's not for my client's sake, it's for, so to screen the fence. So we don't really want to change, how it looks, we just want to have the privacy.
Okay.
I remember another question I had.
Go ahead, Abby,
So,
thank you.
This must be a public way to the walk?
That's correct.
Because it's, okay, so that threw me off too.
I mean, in essence, they're cutting themselves off from this part of the yard currently was
Right.
open, but it's that intrusive, and I'm hearing it more and more from people.
Yeah,
on
no,
the
they're
bluff.
a problem everywhere. The gate and the garden fence, that's along Baxter Road, and that has the deer.
So that would just
Wire.
be, that would just be wire on the piece where we have, the hedge running, but obviously where we have a gate, we want to have a little bit of wire to stop the deer from coming in and eating everything. Where we try to do it in a discreet way. I think the cable shows stronger in drawing than it does in reality. It's a very small cable, but it is effective in stopping deer to come in. I have an example there on the right, the image where we did it, and it's very hard to see the cable through, you really see more the wooden portion of it.
But
And-
that would be right on Baxter Road, is that correct?
It's screened by the privet. It's between Baxter Road and the garage.
Anything else? Abby?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay,
Yeah, this is a
Joe?
public way.
Yeah, I have a question in response to Elizabeth's comment about the fence that goes between the Baxter Road and the garage. Is it just that short section that is perpendicular to Baxter Road that connects with the corner of the garage that goes into that raised bed garden? Is that the fence doesn't run the length of the entirety of the Baxter Road property line, right?
That's correct. You're right in your assumption. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's just where your note is right here that's highlighted. Those two sections of fence, which look to be about 7 feet each. Oops, now it's gone. But Yeah, right there. So that's it. And then the other fence is internal to your property and being screened by a privet.
That's correct.
Okay, then I have no concerns. Thank you.
And the fence, I think the portion that you see would be just 4 feet tall. The rest is just the light cabling with plantings in front of it.
Okay, thanks. Let's see. Angus, hold on one second, Holly. Angus, you went?
No. So, yeah, I think as long as the deer fencing is hidden from view by the hedge, and likewise the 6-foot plank fence, if that's hidden by the hedge, I don't have any concerns.
Okay. Holly?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I may have been reading the application wrong, but it looked like there was an apron that was being proposed as well.
It was an apron just at the garage, not at the road. There's none at the road, like nobody has them. So, then I look back at the photos, they didn't have one before, so we just
predates
decided
it.
to omit it.
So not adding that.
That's
Okay.
right.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chair, thank you.
No, that's fine. Okay, so I think that's everyone, right? Except for me?
Could I just ask one
Yep.
more question? So along the rail path where the public walks, you say there's an existing wire fence to remain? Is that along the walk?
Along the bluff, there
yeah.
is an existing wire there that predates me, or yeah.
Yeah, I've just, that sort of blew my mind because
Yeah,
I've
it's-
never seen it.
It's not very high.
Okay, so it must be like Rosa Rugosa
Exactly.
height or something?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but.
Thank you. Can we zoom out on the site plan, please? Elizabeth, what's the overall length of the rear lot line? Roughly?
I don't know, 50 feet?
I just want to get a better idea of what.
There's not a scale.
It's like the width of the house plus a little setback.
1, 2,
I think it's
1,
longer.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Maybe 60 feet.
15, it'd be like 120 feet. So, I would, my only concern is that just a monolithic hedge starts to create, in that tight space. I think it's beneficial because it can be sheared back, so that's important. I'm just a little concerned that it creates like an alleyway sense or a wall. And I foresee that there will be more of these coming in, and it will be a privet wall on one side. So I would just ask that you consider that, and I'm not gonna suggest it as part of the motion, because frankly, I'm having a difficult time coming up with a plant material to intersperse or, create a little twist. There's something with a little color somewhere. It's not necessarily like, every 10 feet or anything that's gonna look, it just needs to look natural. It needs to look like something is out there. Like all of a sudden, oh gee, there's like a few lilac, or I'm not suggesting lilac, or Rose of Sharon in that location.
If you've been to Baxter Road,
I understand.
it's a privet festival.
It is, but just along that rear side,
Yeah.
we're gonna have basically a wall of privet that goes from one end of the walk to the other. So I'm just asking you to please, as a landscape artist, to consider something that gives it a little bit of punch, because what you do here is gonna set the precedent more or less for what happens to the left and right of this along the whole bluff walk. So those are my thoughts on it. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'm happy to make a motion to approve as submitted, with the caveat that you're not going to see the deer fencing or wire fencing from Baxter. And also, this is a public way here to get to the path, but there's also the walking along the path. So this requires screening as well. That can't just be a continuous wall of board fence. So my motion would be to include the screening for that as well, and that could be Exhibit A.
Perfect, sounds good, and we have consent On your motion, Angus.
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Abby?
I'm a no.
And I'm an aye. Let the record reflect four in favor. Let the record reflect four in favor, one opposed. Abby is opposed. Okay, thanks, Elizabeth.
I got one more,
Oh, just got one more.
and it's not the one I thought it was.
Okay, so you are 32 Flintlock,
Yeah,
vehicular gate,
and that's it. That's all it is, just a gate.
vehicular.
So we didn't
gate.
do a cattle grate. You told me you like gates, so I came back with a gate on this one. Give me a yes, all at once.
I just have one question. How far back is it off the road?
It's about 20 feet.
Okay. Because we just got hit
Yeah.
big time on social media, the HDC for one on Volcas Road.
Oh,
260 comments.
uh-oh. Who voted yes is what I want to know. Okay, oh, it sounds like Lindsay was involved, you people who are home eating popcorn and want to go to Facebook. Okay, what do we want to do with 32 Flintlock?
I say
It's-
motion to approve is submitted.
It's going to be, the board is going to be regular members and Carrie.
Can I ask a question?
Yep,
Is it natural to weather? I can't read the text.
Is it natural to weather?
it's white.
Oh, that's,
Okay.
But the house has white trim. It's a really nice house.
How far away from the the gate is the house?
It's right there.
I think it's close enough to the street where I would say I'd really want it to be natural to weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can you live with that?
I can.
I mean, we're
Hopefully
going to
my
make the
client
decision
can.
one way or the other. I'm just trying to be polite.
Well,
Okay. Does anyone else feel strongly that this should be natural weather versus white?
I think that's why I didn't put it on consent. Was it mine?
I'm in favor of it being natural to weather.
Okay, so it sounds like we have consensus. Carrie, would you like to make a motion?
Sure, motion to approve as submitted, but natural to weather, not white.
Okay, that sounds good. On your motion,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Angus,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, Elizabeth, have a great evening.
What's interesting is in the old days, gates were never approved. And now we're gate.
It's because we got all these
It's the
architects on the
it's
board.
the,
They just
Well,
want gates
we
everywhere.
are starting to look like a very unfriendly island, which is my concern. I mean, it really just looks
Looks can be deceiving.
sad.
Let's see, we're on to 16 Lions, fence, driveway, gate, deer grate. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Chris is here.
Hey, Chris, welcome to the HDC, and we'll start with your site plan. If you would kindly walk us through it, and if you've got images you want us to look at, you can kindly direct staff as you go, okay?
All right, thank you so much for your time. So what we have here is a deer grate that will be going in the driveway. The driveway is going to remain as is. The grate is going to go into the portion of it after it starts to make its turn. The deer grate was going to be roughly the color of some shells, so it blends in with the shells, so it would be like more of like a dirty white color. We have a gate that would be split in the middle of the deer grate. That would be a painted white gate with some wire going on each side of it to soften it, so that this way the fencing is not running all the way to the gate. And that fencing is going to go around the perimeter of the property. And on the street side there, it would be located in existing vegetation that's quite heavy on the street side.
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna ask that either Abby or Angus will chair this. I'm gonna recuse.
You can, tired of the,
I'm gonna start a company called Acme Gates.
I can share it if you, what did you say? Okay, I'll share it. Okay, Chris?
Yes,
Your name? Would you like, you just gave your spiel.
I did.
Okay. All right, let's see who's on the board. We've got Angus, myself, Val. Connie?
I'll go.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
want?
Yeah.
My concern always is with this, it shows like it's right on the property line, needs to come into the property and be screened on the outside of the fence, if it has to be there. We're not approving grates if we can see them. So, that's a concern, and it's very tall. And I am looking at the site plan, and it looks like the vegetation and the fencing is coming in, but there's nothing in front of it. So those are my concerns.
Thank you, Val. Joe, could you also be on this? If you're there? Or Carrie?
Yes, sorry. I
Oh,
can be
thank
on.
you, Joe. 16 Lions.
Yeah, and I heard the presentation and reviewed the drawings, and I just heard what Val said.
Okay. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I agree with Val that the perimeter fence should be set in from the property line. I don't know what the number she said, but I would say 10 feet, just to capture a lot of the scrub oak that's there. And I think it's interesting that the cattle grate, it's supposed to match shell. You'd say it's going to be painted a white is that what you're proposing?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I think I question whether or not you need a cattle grate if you have a gate. I would prefer that the cattle grate be completely behind the gate, if you feel like you need it at that point.
Thank you, Joe.
I can go.
Connie, thank you.
I was going to say the same thing. It's right on the property line. The gate is too high. It looks like 9 feet are the posts. That's too high. And I don't feel that the deer grade is appropriate.
Yeah, but just one moment. We just got one more person in, or two more, and then we can talk. Angus?
Thank you. So I agree with what's been said. I would move the gate further back towards this bend here, and so that the fence would come across, and then, but I agree, it should be buried, and the grate should be behind the fence, but more like where it says Shell Drive, like where the DNR is.
Thank you, Angus. I agree with what's been said as well. I think it should be natural to weather gate, that the cattle grate, if we approve it, should be pushed back into the yard, and that the fencing itself should be 10 feet in with screening around the whole property, if that's the view of the board. Anybody want to make a motion to hold for revisions or some kind of motion?
I'd make a motion to hold for revisions, and I echo what Angus said with respect to the locations of the various elements.
Okay, can we hold on to that, Joe, for a second? I forgot, Chris, you wanted to say something?
You know, we'd be open to go ahead and having a natural to weather gate. And also we could go ahead and reduce the post size down to 8 feet so that it matched the fence, going along that. And we could also slide that grate back roughly 6 or 8 feet before the driveway starts to bend again, going into that initial parking area. And we could also move that gate forward towards the front of that grate as well.
What about moving the wire fencing in from the property line?
So the wire fencing is just for a couple of feet at the driveway, so I had it as 6 feet, then transitioning to the wire mesh fencing, and you really only see maybe a foot or two of it when you're pulling in the driveway, and other than that, it disappears.
Well, so that for me is the bigger concern, the gate and all that aside. It can't be on the property line It has to be buried in vegetation and
Yeah.
screened from neighbors and public purview.
Yeah, there's full vegetation all the way around the property, on all sides of the property. The front of the
listening to
property
me.
has a lot of vegetation.
But that's vegetation that belongs to your neighbors. We don't want it on the property line.
Yeah,
so-
no, it could be, and
Okay.
it's very wooded all the way around the property from the pictures that I had submitted.
Yeah, I motion to hold for revisions.
Oh, yes, Joe, thank you. I forgot about that too. Okay, all in favor of Joe's, do you understand everything that we'd like on the revised design?
No.
Yes, and
Okay, so on Joe's motion, Joe,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Thank you.
Okay, folks, that brings us to a 11-minute break, and we'll be back at 5:41. Go back in on 47C Deer Farm. Is Lisa or Ray on the Zoom?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Except my mic isn't working.
We're gonna go right to it. Are you gonna share or you want us to present?
I'm sorry. Hang on just a second. My earbuds keep going on. It'd be great if you guys can share your screen.
Okay, super. And then just kind of direct,
Okay.
I don't think your mic's on, Steve.
Thank you, Joe. The board is
Earbuds not working. Thank you, Joe.
the, can you hear me now? Can you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's see, it'll be Joe as the associate, as an alternate, and me, Val, Abby, and Angus. All right, Lisa, ready to roll.
Okay, this is a addition, a second floor addition to an existing building on Nobody Farm Road down like a long alley. I know it went on the view list, but we had gotten something approved on consent previously. The owner is putting a apartment above, and our previous approval just added a dormer to the existing roof line, and he, given the neighborhood, was hoping that he could actually build a, full two-story structure and get a better apartment up there for, to use. So those are the changes to the exterior architecture.
Okay, and Val, you had this for consent. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think I wasn't understanding. Is it this building that you took the picture of that
Yeah.
is going up another floor? And I wanted to see, what was around it and what was in front of it. And Lisa, honestly, I went today, I could not find this building
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's very hard. It's down a very long driveway and it's at the very, very end.
So I don't have the concern I had before.
Okay, so Val's concern has been addressed. Does anyone have a concern on this application?
I don't.
Okay, Angus does, so we're gonna hear Angus and then we're gonna go from there. Thanks, Joe.
So this is actually a side road that I travel fairly often. And the scale of this structure, I can understand why there was a desire to sort of meet the level of the other buildings. What's different about this proposal is that it really encroaches on Hanneby Lane, where there's really only one other building that is coming close to the road like that, and it's the other one on this lot. So, yeah, I don't have an issue with the back part of this, the part that is above the garage doors. Let me get back to the scene here. The double garage doors, I don't have an issue with that, but it's that full 2 stories coming close to the Hanneby Road that's imposing, just because it's almost at the road. And that is my concern.
To the elevations, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at, I know what you mean, Angus, but I just want to look at the elevations of the plans.
I'm sorry, Lisa, was that a question?
No, I was asking Fiona to scroll so that I could understand. And maybe just go to the floor plan too, Fiona.
Are we gonna?
Keep going. I mean, I'm good. I just wanted to see what was there. Okay.
Could I ask a
Okay,
question?
hold on one second. Angus, are you all wrapped?
I think so.
Okay, Abby?
So to Angus's point, but Lisa, is the siting of this addition renovation, is it different from what it was existing?
Well, what exists on that side towards Hannibia right now is an exterior staircase and a bigger setback because he, I believe, used to have an entrance to an office loft space that was above there. And it being in this district, he can build 0 feet up to that lot line. And I believe, to Angus's point, his neighbor, because it's a condo, so he shares another lot with another large building. So he wanted to do the same thing to be able to get a better garage apartment up there for one. So the footprint of the garage hasn't changed. It's that addition where that shorter
Where
garage.
the staircase was?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, gotcha, got it. Thank you.
Concerns?
I don't have any.
Okay, so with all that information, does anyone have concerns otherwise? What's the pleasure of the board?
Has everybody spoken?
No one has any concerns, other than what Angus had voiced, and unless Dale's gonna come up with some. Well, no, I mean, I'm just asking. I presume everyone's previewed, and if you have a concern, you can state it, and then we'll move on, that's all. Nothing. No great shakes.
Well, I could make a motion.
Okay, I think we're waiting for one.
All right, a motion to approve the, as submitted, with the exception of that addition where the new garage door is. So if looking at the west elevation, that would be 1.5 story, enough to like get the stair up in there. And the double part where the double garage doors is would be as presented. And I could do an exhibit A.
Okay, and I just want to double check, I think I understood, but Lisa, you're gonna be able to work with that? I mean, we're gonna make a decision, but I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I will do my best. I mean, I can't answer that without looking at the heights, but I obviously want to get enough of an approval that we can move forward. I mean, I think we could bring it down a little bit. I think to pull it down so that the eave is at the midpoint of the window is going to be too much. So I would ask for, dropping that ridge a little bit more than it is currently, which maybe pulls the footprint back a little bit from the garage doors and get the reduction in height that way, as opposed to dropping the whole ridge 4 feet.
Okay, we do have the motion, though,
I understand.
Okay, so, or I guess what I'm asking is, would you prefer a motion to hold for revisions?
No,
Okay.
because I got to move forward.
I know you wanted to get approval for something. Okay. On your it's the board again is myself, Angus, Joe, Val. Oh, Angus, Joe, Val, and me. I think I said myself.
And Abby.
I'm not on this?
Yes, you are.
Abby spoke.
I knew there was a fifth. Angus on the motion?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Joe?
No.
Val?
I don't know what the motion is.
Angus will repeat it.
Oh, yeah, so just this part that is encroaching on the road is that it would be cut down, to this height.
To what height? I don't see what you're showing.
The eave would be at the window. I mean, ideally, it would be down there, but the motion is at the halfway through the window would be the eave of this street forward side.
So it'd be a 1 3/4 story versus a 2-story.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that be a dormer, a shed dormer there, and the windows stay, or are you suggesting that whole thing just comes down at the?
It just comes down. There could be a low window or something if.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood.
And no dormer, so that becomes not.
So
not
basically,
usable
he's saying the
space.
top plate of this on the left will come down so
To what
that,
it was before?
to approximately,
Yeah.
I presume like mid-rail here. So
So
that's the
drop-
motion.
Drops about 2 feet or something.
Joe, you were a no?
Correct.
Abby?
I'm an aye.
Val?
I'm a no.
I'm a no also. Do we have another motion? Maybe 1 3/4 story with a shed dormer
What about a salt box?
or a salt box?
Yeah, I was gonna motion to step back the second floor 3 feet. And that would create, the first floor stays where it is, and by stepping the second floor back 3 feet on the garage door side, you lower the ridge of that addition and you create a little shed roof at the step back.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I want to second that for discussion. Given the location of the structure, I believe that is an option. I believe the other option is to go to 1 3/4 story with a shed dormer at the windows, because the area, I think this is, it would be appropriate for that area to do either. And the only reason I suggest it is it retains the floor plan program as opposed to cutting it back, rebating it 3 feet from the front in order to lower the height, because the width of this, the depth of the structure decreases and the ridge goes down correspondingly.
About how much? How about how much? 2 feet?
I think 2 feet or so to bring that down to the meeting rail of the existing window is be the top plate, and then it'd be dormered. That would be plenty of space in there for a bedroom under building code and whatnot.
Do we have a motion on the table?
Joe said he would make a motion. He did. I seconded for discussion. Joe, are you open to any of those suggestions? If not, we'll move forward on your motion.
I'm open to that. I mean, I would have motioned just to hold for revisions and let Lisa hear what we've said and come back with something.
All right. Lisa, do you have a preference? I mean,
I think what you suggested is fine, Steve.
Yeah,
so,
I would make that motion.
Okay, so Joe, would you mind doing an Exhibit A?
Sure.
Okay, so Joe's Exhibit A is a 1 3/4 story with the top plate lowered to the meeting rail of the window showing, and the a shed dormer around the windows. Joe on the motion?
Aye.
Angus?
So just a second, just to clarify, there's just one window, right?
The two one, yeah, I'm sorry.
One
So-
window with that garage door, yeah.
I'm an aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so that carries unanimously. Lisa, I'm sorry, you had a question?
No. I was
Okay, I thought I-
asking the question
I thought
that
I
it would
heard
only
something.
be one window. Thank you.
Okay, yep, so we're good with that, and now we're moving on to 14
good night,
Hussey
guys.
Street. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Best to Ray. 14 Hussey Street, Lindsay?
Hey there.
Your board is myself, Angus, Abby, I think Carrie, and then Connie, and me and Val. You can begin when you see your site plan. Hey, Angus, quit distracting Fiona. She is the strongest link in this whole puzzle, as long as she can stay focused.
So the scope of work on here reads as-built curb cut. The curb cut was already where it was, like we didn't move the curb cut. We just changed the driveway and oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're just wreaking havoc.
So if you see that in the driveway on your screen, that angle cut through in the middle of the driveway. So what we did was we filled it in and squared it off. And the reason we did it without going to HCC is because we thought it had already gone through HCC, because Ethan had taken through some revisions to the building and it showed up on his plan, so we assumed that he had already done it. So we apologize, but, so we just filled that part in. The curb cut actually stayed where it was. And then I think it was also flagged for, change to the fence, but, the builder thought he had just changed it exactly how it was before, and so it changed a little bit. It did, okay. So,
A little more contriteness, I think,
fence change.
for the as-built, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay, so any questions? Any questions of Holly? Okay, Mickey, you guys got anything?
Yeah, so I guess I have a question for Lindsay. You said something about the curb cut. You did not move the curb cut, but when I look on Street View, it shows the curb cut correlating with the old original driveway. So it looks like the curb cut was actually moved.
We didn't move it, the curb cut was where it was when we got there.
So, I mean, at some point, pretty recently, must have been moved. But anyway, so we think that this is really creating too wide of a opening on Hussey Street. I doubt there's anything even close to this. And the amount of additional brick that's been put in place, again, makes just a overwhelmingly large space of brick, very obviously very visible from the street. That's it. Oh, the fence you can see in that picture there. The fence is a type 2 fence, but it has post caps, which is really unusual for a type 2 fence. Those caps should be removed. Thank you.
Thanks, Mickey. Let's see, Val.
While I understand the concern that it's all brick now, I do think that's a little bit unusual. As I was driving down there today, I got to 20. And look at 20. It's one big brick slab.
Yeah,
So,
that's been a mess for years.
Yeah. It isn't
Hey,
an
guys, no crosstalk, please.
anomaly on the street, but I do think it was more appealing with a planting bed there prior to just being all brick. The fence I'm less concerned about.
Okay, Angus?
Yeah, I share the same concerns that the HSAG and preservation planner have brought forward. And I think the only thing to do is to restore what was there with bringing the fence over to the curb cut and restoring the planting behind it, that triangle that was filled in. And the herringbone is out of character, but that wouldn't be the end of the world if it stayed. But the fence, as Mickey mentioned, the post needs to stop at the top rail and not go any higher, and certainly no caps. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Let's see, who does that leave?
Me, I think.
Abby and Carrie. Carrie?
Yeah, I think the fence should, I think those post caps should go away. I think in town, that's just really, anyways, I was walking down here before I even knew this was coming up and a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of brick. It looks really like a parking lot. And now I see that it's an application today as I was reviewing. I was like, oh, duh. It was, it didn't used to be like this. I do think a compromise might be to take away a few feet of the brick and let those the foundation plantings have some space so it doesn't feel like it's been bricked to the, choking of those plants. And then, yeah, fix the fence.
Thanks, Carrie. Abby?
Yeah, I think another thing that's happened with this is that the telephone pole is now the center of attention. So I agree. I think the fence should be brought over to the granite apron curb, the curb cut, and somehow sort of a natural line going back to that side door of the garage and filling in with planting would be the solution. Thank you.
Hold on, Lindsay, because we're like stalling out here on this. It's,
Just 2 seconds, the pole is moving, that's all I was gonna say. Or they're trying to, they want to.
yeah. Yeah. So I agree with Mickey, and I basically agree with everyone else, except for, I just think it should go back to what it was.
Basically.
And then there won't be an as-built fee, but that's my thoughts.
They already paid the as-built fee,
Well,
just so you know.
okay. So I stand corrected. There will be an as-built fee, but it will go back to what it was. And you know what? That'll be the contrition, the act of contrition right there. Coughing up the cake. Angus, I don't know what the vote's, I don't even know what the motion's gonna be.
I'll make the motion to restore the garden and fence to the view that is below. Can you go to this? I don't know what page is there.
Oh, can we go to Holly's picture, or Kathy's pictures, please? They're further down.
1528. I mean, it's the 15th picture, I think, or slide.
Google map picture.
Yeah, to restore it to that with the number 2 fence type 2, and the garden and the line of the drive is shown in the picture.
And Angus, just for clarification, you said, when you're saying restore the type 2, no caps.
Right, well, the type 2 doesn't have
So
caps.
a single cap along the length of the fence.
Right, no post,
A
no
Brasco
post caps.
8512 or whatever it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, so make it look like the picture, except for, that's it. Okay, on your motion.
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Let's see, Carrie?
Aye.
And Dale?
Aye.
And Stephen, aye. Okay, sorry, Lindsay, but that one was faded. Okay, 33 Cliff Road, Stone Post. Hi, Mirka.
Actually, Mirka texted and said she had to hop off, and she asked if she's going to be able to log in at 6:45.
Okay, and pick up the 30 Beach?
Yes.
Okay.
And Stone Post, I think she's next, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll allow that.
Yeah.
So-
She asked me to convey that message.
Matt,
So
do you want to,
Mirka-
Matt, do you want a screen share?
Yes.
I'm trying to promote you to, there we go.
So Matt will pick up 30 North Beach, new hotel building.
Get feeling that way.
You're gonna screen share, is that what you got?
Yes.
While Matt's getting set up, I had this for review for consent. I actually thought the architecture was totally appropriate, with the exception of the porch brackets going to a 45 versus a 60, 30-60 configuration angle, and the second floor decks either being in the roof planes, either downsized or shingle wall. Those are just, well, you're getting set up. So I brought it to the group because I wasn't gonna write a consent with conditions on all that.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Cowboy
thank you, Mr. Chair. Those revisions that you just described we would be happy to make those. Just to give a brief description of what the structure is, you've all looked at it. So this is part of the beachside, and it's a new structure, and it's 4 suites. You know, we try to take a lot of the architectural details from the beachside itself, which was renovated over the last 2 years, if you will. There have been a series of, what we try to do with the renovation of the beachside is try to have a consistent architectural language, if you will, because there are some windows that are like 1/1s. But where we were adding new windows and doors. We tried to have a consistent language specifically with the window type, trim types, et cetera, et cetera. We are also planning to come before you, this board again, to do some work to the entry portico and adjust some of the fenestration on the facade of the main lobby entrance so that the project is completely cohesive in terms of its architectural details. But in the interest of time, if everybody's looked at the structure, we've tried to take a lot of the architectural cues from the existing structure, create a additive massing composition, if you will, obviously while maintaining handicap accessibility, life safety code in terms of means of egress, and obviously because we are in the floodplain, the first finished floor does have to be elevated roughly 5 feet. There was a landscape plan, I think it was also submitted, which was done by Mirica, which I thought was really well done, which will help kind of bridge that gap of the elevated floor plan. So, but with that, look forward to comments from the board, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Matt. Does anyone have any questions for Matt? Or,
I have a comment.
oh, no, hold on now. Or Holly? Any questions for Holly? Okay, Mickey?
Yes. Okay, so, you know, there is really nothing of this scale that is this close to North Beach Street in that area anyways, that far out of town. It just feels pretty overwhelming. It's only 10 feet off of the street. We think that this should be sort of reconsidered as 2 or 3 smaller structures that would be completely separated or joined in the rear, just to help make it feel a little bit more residential, which that, you know, with the exception of that hotel or the motel or hotel, is really what this neighborhood of part of the island is all about. The second floor balconies facing the road are not appropriate. The brackets make it look too busy. I'd eliminate them entirely. And the cupola is also not appropriate. Thank you.
Thanks. I just want to announce the board is myself, Angus, Abby, Val, and Connie. And who'd like to begin? Val.
Okay, I think it's a handsome building. I don't see how it ties in with the motel. But that aside, I think we can lose the cupola and as you mentioned, the brackets. I think it just looks too rural-ish or something in town. And I
Girl or
don't disagree with Mickey about it being so close to the road. It should be pushed back.
Girlish.
What?
What did you say? You said it's too.
Rural-ish.
Oh, I thought you said girlish. I was thinking, okay. Sorry. Abby.
I'm not ready.
Angus.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is to be part of the beach club or beachside, and I don't feel like it relates to it. Most of the beach club is 1 story forward, and it's at grade, and the structures that are in close proximity to this, like on the town side of this, to the left side of it, as you're looking at it from the road, are 1 story on the ground. And so this is raised and 2-story and second floor balconies that aren't appropriate, or French doors on the second floor facing the street and its proximity to the street. So I feel like there's some work to be done. The cupola's already been mentioned. But I thought Holly had a great idea of showing a streetscape just to sort of put this in perspective on its own. You know, you could think, yeah, this is a good-looking building, but what we need is something to be more appropriate in situ. So I would be looking for revisions in a streetscape to make more sense of it. Thank you.
Connie.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. I agree with what's been said already.
Okay. And Abby, did I get you or did I?
Yeah, no,
come
I
back?
just, I had trouble with my thing. I don't have a problem with the architecture, but I think being right on the street. I think if it was set back and it had some landscaping, it would sit a lot better in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thanks. Matt, I know you don't really have the width. What's the setbacks in that for sides? Can you push that back 5 feet?
Yeah, we're right up, you can see on the
make it
site
an L.
plan, that side setback, we're
doesn't
pretty
have to
close
be
to
all
it.
the
But we
way
might,
across.
the further west we pull it, it might allow us to shift it further back. I also think the landscape plan would be helpful. We do have the other building modeled, so we can show you the relationship between the two. I'd also point out too that in the rear, which a lot of people don't go in the back buildings, but a lot of those buildings are full 2 stories with second floor balconies, bracketed balconies, if you will. But anyways, I mean, I think that a streetscape and some of the comments that the board has made, we'd certainly make those revisions and come back before you.
All right, and is there any possibility with the internal program to really relocate the side stair? Is that a base to basement or is that to upgrade?
That actually, so this section here, there's a lift that's concealed in that 1-story additive mass.
Gotcha, okay.
So there's a Lula lift and the stairs, and it is.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But we'll look at options for sure.
So you'd like us to get a motion to hold for revisions?
If that's the
And some
consensus.
additional information, perspectives, hardscape.
Yeah, and landscape.
And that'll be Marika's, was it primarily an arbor for 30 North Beach? Or was it the hardscape for this structure?
I believe it was the landscape for this whole area.
All right, so I
Yeah.
think maybe it would be beneficial to hold on that, and we could have you guys maybe have the landscape come in on your plan, and then Mirka could present.
Sure, yeah.
And we can you guys can coordinate that with submissions, so it happens.
Yeah,
so we can
simultaneously, we can
review,
track
you
the
know,
two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
happy to do that.
Okay, so we'll get a motion to hold for revisions and for the hardscape to track.
That's my motion.
Okay. Kathy, did you catch that? We're gonna track the hardscape. Okay, on the motion, Angus.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Val.
Aye.
Connie.
Aye.
And I'm an aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, guys, we're on to 17 Eat Fire Spring. We are not in lightning mode. We're halfway through our agenda. But hopefully the sparks will fly. I hear it's gonna rain tomorrow, so maybe we get a little lightning going now. 17 Eat Fire Spring, Ethan. All right, why don't we hold that till 5:45? And we'll move to 50 Easton. Is Paul with us?
I'll sit off a few.
Paul, are you gonna screen
So-
share?
Or,
Esteemed colleagues.
yeah.
Paul, can you hear us?
Yep, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Are you gonna screen share or would you like us to do it?
I can screen share if that's easier.
That would be wonderful. Why don't you get that started and I'll get together your board, which will be Abby, Angus, Joe, and I think Joe, yeah, and myself and Carrie. And Val's off. Val is a alternate for the minutes. When you're ready, Paul.
Okay. So the project here, Paul Boyer, Main Street Architects. The project here is the White Elephant Hotel, which I'm sure we're all familiar with at 50 Easton Street. The majority of the work is on Harborview Way. There is a few things that we're doing on the Eastern Street Way as well. We've tried to narrow it down with pictures and plans and a quick narrative on what we're doing. We are doing some interior work to the kitchen, so based on some mechanical upgrades we'd like to make with, the exhaust hoods that are 90 degrees right out the side, that we can go through the roof where we already have a roof walk, some in and out for a service with a ramp, and currently there's a stairs that kind of flank off to the right side that we were looking to lattice enclose that tends to have stuff over there. So it's just different plans of things that we had, iterations we had kind of looked, mostly based around mechanicals for the kitchen renovation. Obviously, it has HTC impacts. So here's the floor plans of the expansion. This is the harbor view side with the eastern side on top. If you look to the top left, we're showing more screening. What's currently there now doesn't exactly screen everything perfectly, and the equipment that we're putting in needs better screening. So we're trying to bring that screening across. If you look to the harbor view way, we boxed out the spots where if you look on the very bottom, it currently shows where the exhaust comes out. We're looking to move that to the roof walk that currently already is there. There is current equipment up there. We have space to add this equipment, which would clean up that elevation. Anything we do replace on removal, we're looking to replace siding and roofing and trim all like in kind. And then the biggest area would be just down at the stair here. We're putting a lattice enclosure. We propose to install a lattice enclosure. And then this just goes through more pictures, kind of gives you a better idea of blow up scale. If you folks wanted to get into the talking of the details, we can pull these back up. I won't bore you with all the mechanical details of it. This gives you again blow up views of the eastern side and what the proposed changes are, and then blow up views in bubbled of what the harbor view side is proposed changes, followed up by the schedule. So
Thanks, Paul. Questions for Paul?
I have a question.
Carrie?
The lattice, I think in the drawings, it shows it a very large lattice, and I think it would be-
hatch scale, I'm sorry.
yeah, the hatch scale is really, so what size is it?
It would be, I want to say that your standard's 2x2 or inch and a half by inch and a half. The standard smaller squares that we use.
And can it be orthogonal and not diagonal?
Correct. We can do that.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, great. And any other questions, Carrie?
Nope.
Did I say any questions for Holly? Mickey, do you have anything?
We had no concerns.
Okay, let's see, Ray had this. We don't have the benefit of knowing what it is. Why he
He just said no.
just said no.
We have a few words.
And does anyone have any concerns?
I have one more little
Question,
question.
please.
The trellis, is that to be painted white or is that natural to weather?
We were proposing natural because that's what a lot of the screening currently is for any mechanicals that are there today.
Okay.
Yep. I agree with Carrie's suggestion of having the lattice be orthogonal, and overall, I think you're regularizing a lot of chaotic situations that are happening out there mechanically. So this seems like a net improvement.
Okay, thanks, Joe. And I think we need a motion.
Motion to approve with the lattice natural to weather and orthogonal no larger than 2-inch squares.
Okay. And Val, will you write that on the sheet? Natural to weather,
2-inch.
orthogonal 2x2 openings. Okay, on your motion, Joe.
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so that carries unanimously. And just like that, we're on to 58 Nobodier Ave.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Oh, a sports court. We love these. I just cannot tell you how much fun these are. It's like 2 sports courts, Connie says, 2 for 1.
It's ginormous.
There was a sale, and they're putting 2 for 1. Okay, the board, Bill, are you back?
I will be, because I was the person who put it not on consent.
Okay, so it will be, I think we're back to Connie, and me, and Val, and Angus, and Abby. Okay, let's roll, guys. Lattice
Yeah.
natural to weather, 2-inch by 2-inch openings. Good evening, Sarah. Uh-oh. Representing the applicant? Okay. Who is representing the applicant?
Actually, Adrian Rodriguez, but he's not in the audience or online.
I have no idea.
So, I hate to do this to you, Sarah, but what we've been doing is implemented, we hold half. So, keep you to 6:15. And, if Adrian doesn't show, then it will be the first, lack of representation. So the next hearing, I think, isn't delayed, but if it happens after that, it's delayed so that, abutters and other people can have their agents present. Okay. Okay, that brings us to 47 Hulbert Ave.
Oh,
Hi, Joe.
hi, that's a BPC project, isn't it? I would like to screen share, please.
Go for it.
What's the address? 47.
I'm just not keeping track after the fact. Okay, your board is going to be Abby, Angus, Connie, since we didn't activate Connie, myself, and Val.
Okay, you've seen this a few times, and we have two approvals so far. The one on the left here is our first approval, and this is the last approval. And so we're just doing some cleanup. My client asked us to come back to look really at the oceanside elevation, which is the north. And then we're just making some minor fenestration changes to the east. We're just shuffling some things around. We're also proposing a skylight on the east and another skylight on the west, which I know typically the rule is one skylight per roof plane. And here in elevation, you can clearly see the two of them. But this gable will actually block seeing the two of them at the same time. So we thought we would present it. I think the biggest, I'm assuming the one change that would draw the most attention is this picture window. So I just wanted to point out that the history of this, the original approval, we had widened this existing, we'll call it bay, from 11 feet to 14 feet. And then we were able to have the picture window with flanking double hungs. But we decided we should just keep with the existing footprint because of the proportions of it, which makes us 11 feet. And so we're proposing replacing these three double hung windows that we got approved to a picture window with muntins. And I know after looking at Holly's comments and looking at the adjacent muntins, I just did this quick one where it goes from being an 8 light to being a 12 light, so it's more coordinated with the fenestration below it. The amount of glass area is similar to the triple. So this, I was hoping that the board would consider, given that we had an unmuntined picture window previously approved, and that with muntins in a picture window that coordinated better with the approved fenestration, that we might be able to get an approval for it. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Let's see. Questions, anyone? Questions of Joe, questions of Holly? All right. Mickey?
Yes, so the large picture window that's proposed and even the follow-up revisions, neither of them is really appropriate. If this was on the first floor, if it was a picture window for the first floor, it might be considered. But it's not. It's on the second floor. It's very visible. It's not the place you normally would see picture windows. Not as much as at least as on the first floor. The 3 double hung windows that were approved are appropriate and they should remain. The 2 skylights are also questionable because they're not in the upper third of the roof plane, which is really the guidelines for skylights. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Mickey. Let's see, Val.
Oh, do you want me to go since it
Oh,
was on
yes,
my...
please, Angus.
So it was on my consent list, and
Silly
just
me.
because we reviewed this a number of times, I thought that the board would be interested in reviewing it one more time. And Mickey mentioned a couple of my concerns. The picture window was a concern, but I appreciate the smaller lights, and it is an improvement on the original or existing picture window. And the skylights were an issue for me. I understand the separation because of the gable and obstructed view and all that, but it's the how low they are on the roof that caught my eye. And that east elevation of switching the fenestration, I thought that it was more harmonious before with the longer, lower windows, and then the stack of the upper windows above. And it's so similar to the previously approved, that I was a little bit on the fence. But, so that's a concern, but not as much as the other things I mentioned. Thanks.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah, I agree about the skylights. I think it's taking away from what good you've done to this architecture. And I like the rendition of the three double hungs. I think the picture window is going to be very visible, and I think the three double hungs just look more appropriate for that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Connie?
Yeah, I have nothing to add, but I do agree about the picture window. I do appreciate the muttons, but I still think that the prior rendition was more appropriate, and I do not think that the two skylights, just one, would be appropriate.
Okay, thanks. Dale?
Well, with Joe's suggestion of what he changed the muntins to, I think it looks just like the double hung windows, so I don't have a problem with that. And with regard to the skylights, they're on the rear of these masses, and I don't know how visible those really will be. So I'm good with this application.
Okay, thanks. Joe, my thoughts are probably one skylight you pick, and I think dive more into the mutton mullion look. I think this picture window could be successful either as two 3/3 double hung windows, which we definitely see oversized windows in fill-in type structures, almost like, little porch areas and whatnot. Holly, are you shaking your head yes?
Yes.
Holly's shaking her head yes, for the record, folks, and just teasing. And I think you could make the picture window look like that, or you could actually utilize the two double hungs there, 3/3, and I think it would be successful with maybe a structural mull between the two of them. Or you could go with a 3/1 and pick up your 2/1 pattern, because the lights are of similar size, the mutton lights. Just my thoughts on it.
May I make another comment?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If you walk along the water side on Hulbert, there are many, 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 many picture windows.
Yeah. I'm just looking for a compromise.
And yeah, and on the second floor too. I'll tell you that one of the reasons why I felt like it might be seriously considered is that the double hungs as a ganged units, they're certainly around. There are a lot of second floor picture windows, but I thought that not having the painted mullions between the windows would maybe calm this down a little bit. That you just read the white painted trim around the perimeter and the thinness of the muntins, and so it was potentially less busy than the one we had previously approved. That's all. I mean, I'm intrigued by this adjacent ganged 3/1 double hungs. I think that could be pretty interesting. That is a window, and that is a window, and there's a lot of examples of different fenestration on buildings, in the same building. I think I'd be open to doing this as a 3/1 double hung and a 3/1 double hung if the board was in it.
Well, I think, I mean, obviously, I think it's a big success. Bill, do you have any concerns with that?
No.
Connie?
No.
Okay, so I think we have a potential motion if you're gonna also get rid of one of the skylights.
Yeah, the other skylight, this is the skylight that's new, that one.
Okay, so which one are we not going to approve?
Well, I would get rid of the one we've proposed and keep the one that we've had approved.
Okay, yeah, and I'm just giving, to my mind, no one, to my recollection, no one said specifically get rid of a particular one, so. Okay, so is there someone who's?
Can we hear the final 3/1
Yes, it'll
thing?
be an Exhibit A. Val's motion will be an Exhibit A. Are you good with that?
If I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it'll be, the picture window will be changed to 2 3/1 double hung windows. And the proposed skylight is not approved. No, 3/1. To match the, side lights. The vernacular, I think is the word.
So there's a
Mullion.
I'm not
mullion
very
in
educated,
between.
so
No extra skylight.
no extra skylight. Is that your
Yeah,
motion?
I've tried to, I mean, I actually haven't drawn it, but there it is on the screen. You kind of get a representation of it.
Is that your motion, Commissioner Oliver?
Yeah.
3/1, no skylight. I want to keep it simple.
I thought there was 2 skylights.
Yeah, but he's only, one's been previously approved, so the one he's proposing, we're not approving. Okay,
Sorry, there is another one on the east elevation, but it's the only one on that entire roof plane.
so Joe, what is the one that we're not approving?
The one on the west that's clouded.
So the west skylight is gonna take a hike.
Okay.
John McLaughlin. God bless you. Okay, that's Val's, Exhibit A motion on your motion, Val.
I.
Connie,
Aye.
Abby,
No.
Angus,
No.
Stephen, yes. So for the record, 3 in favor, 2 opposed, Abby and Angus are opposed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ethan says he didn't think we'd get to 17 Eat Fire Spring, so can he hold that till next time?
Ethan is gonna hold, and do we have any abutters speaking on that? Is anyone here for 17 Eat Fire Spring on the Zoom?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Mr. Chair?
yeah.
We just got word that 58 Nobodere is going to hold.
Okay, well, at least they called in, we appreciate that. Sarah, did you hear that?
I did, thank you.
Okay, so,
21st?
I'm not certain, but we are gonna let them know our best practices, and, not having been here counts against them, and it will become successively worse for them, just so they're aware,
Yeah.
in terms of penalties, when it can be heard.
And there are 2 abutters online.
And there are 2 butters online, so the abutters would be, just keep track of the agenda, I suppose, is how we would address it, is that
Yes.
the information we provide? Okay. And can people sign up to have the agenda emailed to them?
They can.
And you can do that on the Town of Nantucket website, type in HDC, what do they type in?
No, it's under agendas and minutes. There's a whole instruction.
Agendas and minutes
Yeah, yeah,
for the
on
town
the town
overall.
website.
Okay, so find your way to the nantucket-ma.gov site and do a quick search for the Agenda Center, and you will find a utility there to enter your email address and be forwarded as many different committees, commissions, and boards agendas as you would like. 47 Hulbert, we did. 10 Marble Way, Atlantic Landscaping. Hello, Lindsay. Hello. You're hoping for a little better luck on this one. A little bit. All right, when you see your site plan, please feel free to proceed.
10 Marble Way. Marvelous.
I'm going to ask the board the commissioners, please, to focus on succinct, non-repetitive comments, and we'll be moving right along. Lindsay?
So I met with my neighbor, Mr. Weber, at number 12, and he asked that I put up a board fence between, there's an existing board fence towards the back of the lot, and so he asked if I could add more fence to extend it all the way, the rest of the way, and I said gladly, and that is why I'm here. So it's 6 foot tall, natural to weather.
Okay.
No gate.
Let's see. Angus, you had this?
Yes, I did. And so I was not that familiar with this road. And we've reviewed a number of projects through there, making this as succinct as I can. There's only one board fence like this that I came across, and it was at the very end of Marble Way where it intersects with Somerset. And there it looked out of place, and as well as I think this will. There's been so much that's been cleared along Marble Way, and the character of everything around this development feels very different than the rest of Marble Way. So I thought that this fence would actually make it worse.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, your board is Abby, Angus, obviously. I think we're at Carrie.
Can I say one thing?
Hold on. Carrie, myself, and Val. And I'm gonna get, it's a fence, so let us kind of run with it, and then you get a chance, okay, Lindsay?
Yep.
Let's see. Val.
Well, I think what keeps being overlooked is that this neighborhood on this side of the street of Marble Way is a mixed commercial and residential section, as opposed to across the street, which is all residential. In back of this is also commercial, which is on Bartlett Road. I think maybe this particular cedar fence with the cap on it, it's got like a board along the top, may be just too much. If we could just do a simple 6 foot natural to weather board fence, no, fuss when it, to afford privacy to the neighbor, especially if he's asking for it. I'd be okay with it. It's not on the street.
Thanks, Val. Carrie? Abby?
I've been advocating for this to stay more rural. So I think this board fence is kind of going against what I've been sort of fighting for. But I don't have a solution. I can't think of another way to give this neighbor privacy, because everything is so tight. So I don't have any answers, but I think the board fence it seems out of place for this neighborhood.
Yeah, I'll hold on that.
Mr. Chairman, I'm here. Sorry, I was on mute before when you called.
That's
on.
okay. Go ahead, Carrie.
I was just gonna say, I think the board fence just comes so close to the road, and if it were cut back to maybe the back of the garage, I mean, it's a garage, maybe you don't need privacy in a garage, but just cut it back to the end of the garage. So it's just not so in your face at the street.
Okay, thank you. So that's Carrie Vale.
Can I just say one thing?
Hold on. Oh my goodness. Everybody wants to chomp at the bit. So for me, this can meet our guidelines. You need to put I would suggest climbing hydrangea every third panel, the middle of every third panel, place it at the base of the fence, cut a half moon in the fence so it grows up on both sides. Obviously, you understand landscaping, fertilization, irrigation. It's going to be this beautiful, living, growing thing that isn't going to mess up your fence like Baltic ivy. Pretty on both sides. And I agree with Carrie, cut it back. I would actually suggest either a anchor planting at the end towards the road or return it to the garage at the corner board or mid-gable. And obviously natural to weather and just a simple, I don't think you need a type 2 cap on it, but I think, it's fine. It's going to turn gray and it's going to look decent and it's going to look better than looking at your neighbor. And I'm a big proponent of fences. So
Just not gates.
I think we should be approving 7-foot fences. Okay, so those are my thoughts anyways, for what they're worth. And it sounds like we have consensus that there can be a fence, that it should meet our guidelines, hence planting material, that I'm not certain about the cap, but I am certain about natural to weather, and that it would not go all the way to the street, but it would terminate somewhere near the garage.
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
Tori has her hand raised.
Tori, do you have something to contribute?
The back of the. Hang on one second, I'm trying to unmute her.
Towards the back. Well, is the garage an ADU? Is it a dwelling?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the garage is a dwelling, so it's,
Hey guys, can you hear me?
we can hear you. Go ahead, Tori.
I'm not sure if Mr. Weber is in the audience, but I did speak with him today and he asked that if I was at the meeting, I told him I had to be here anyway, just to confirm that he did specifically request the fence and appreciates the fence and is hoping the fence can be somehow approved and mitigated. Of course, your suggestions, Stephen, are something I'm familiar with and would be very much appreciated in this situation.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Would you like to make a motion? Val, are you up for a notation motion, or I'll help you with the motion and then I'll write it down?
I can try.
Okay.
Motion to approve with, where is everybody with the cap? I just think it's unnecessary.
I'm just actually thinking the longevity of the fence is gonna be better because you're gonna have an end cut at the top of this very long fence and it's gonna be sucking up rain and moisture. So if you put a cap on it, it's actually gonna prolong the useful life of the fence. So for me, it seems like a good thing for the neighbor to have the cap on it. It could just be a simple 4 square. It doesn't have to be a Brosco 851-2 or whatever the type 2 cap is.
I agree with all that. And also, it stabilizes the boards that might want to warp one way or another, so it just kind of keeps it clean.
What do you think of a simple square cut with a dado on the bottom? So it just looks like a board versus the molding type that's on the type 2 fence. Yeah. Are you concerned
indifferent.
about a cap or you're concerned with it? It's ornamental?
I just think it looks so formal the way that it's presented. So whatever you guys think, I'll make a motion to approve this fence in a more simplified fashion.
Okay, so why don't we say it'll be a cap, but it'll be just a 4 square cut cap. So it won't
Okay,
be a
that,
molded.
and natural to weather, obviously, and to push it back so it is not all the way to the end of the property.
Terminate at the front of the garage
Yeah.
and an anchor planting.
Yeah, why don't you make the motion?
I'm gonna, but
I'm happy to
Okay,
make
so
the motion.
Angus,
Go ahead,
go for
Angus.
it.
Okay, so here's the motion. We'll approve the fence natural to weather, set back 8 feet from the face of the ADU or the garage. And it would have a type 2 cap on it, but no other ornamentation.
And planting every third panel,
And planting every third panel with the half moon
cut at the bottom.
cut at the bottom
So the
to grow
neighbor
on
gets the
both sides.
vegetation. Go ahead.
So if you look at the plan, the road is at that corner where the fence is actually like 20 feet away from the actual road. That roadway is 60 feet wide, so the actual road is way far away from where the fence would end. So that's why we stopped it. Normally, I would never stop a fence at the corner of a property line, but in this case, because of where the road is, you'll never even see it because like all that vegetation's staying. Like we're not removing any of it. So if you look at the picture, like picture number 2, like my property starts like even behind that little corner corner thing there.
Okay, I think you made the point, Lindsay had seconded that motion for discussion, obviously. I would suggest, if you're open to it, Angus, on your motion, that the fence, given it's a dwelling unit, that the fence would come back to, or terminate
Front corner.
parallel to the point, how do we want to say this?
The
It would
front-
be no closer to the street than the corner board of the dwelling unit.
That's it.
Is that okay?
And there would be a
Anchor.
some kind of anchor plant at the end of the fence to hide the end of the fence.
Are you gonna write that?
Yeah, you're gonna need to write it on the.
I need to
on the-
type this out.
Because the minutes makers are gonna have a really hard time with, one of them told me it's like we're children. We keep talking and going back and forth, so, and they meant that in the kindest way possible.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we are clear that it is going to be natural to weather, a cap, planting every third panel, half moon cutout for the plant material, a vining plant material. The fence will go no closer to the road than the corner board of the garage ADU, and there will be an anchor plant.
And the finished side is faces the neighbor.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Of course.
And on the motion, Angus.
Aye.
Abby.
No.
Carrie.
Aye.
Me, no. Val.
Aye.
And I didn't mean I'm a no, I meant I'm not gonna vote yet. I'm a yes. Okay. That one is done. Ooh, boy, that fence stuff is crazy.
It doesn't make good neighbors, you know?
It does if they're also extend common courtesy of
I did
quietness.
actually have a board fence already approved on Marble Way when I came here to do my shop. But I'm also representing.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but you can walk to the other side on Bartlett Road, and you will see a fence. Imagine a saw blade, if you will, a circular saw blade. You know, it's got the little teeth, it's a circle piece of metal. Imagine it's 6 feet tall, made of 1-inch thick metal for cutting huge logs, and having it be strung along the whole property line. There is a fence on Bartlett Road that is made of those approximately 6 foot tall pieces of, well, they're old sawmill blades.
Wow.
So I just wanted to share with you, like, it's not all what we think it is out there.
Patina.
7 Thurston's Way, basement fenestration.
Mr. Chair, the representative isn't.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm going to
Oh,
represent
you are?
Florence
Okay.
Fredline.
But before we begin, just so you know, Mirka has her hand raised, so.
Mirka,
This was on my list too.
hello?
Hang on, I'm trying to get it on mute.
Oh, it's on her list? Oh, that was Carrie.
Yeah.
Hi, Carrie.
Oh, yeah.
We miss having you sitting here with us.
So.
And Joe,
oh,
too.
Thanks. So should I tell you my issue?
Well, hold on one second. I'm got a couple balls in the air that I didn't know I was juggling. Mirka is on this application or something else?
No, she had her hand raised. I didn't.
Okay, so
Can you hear me?
we can hear you. Is there
Oh,
something
thank
having to
you.
do with this one?
No. I know. I just wanted to let you know I'm back in. I had to jump off before you got to 33 Cliff Road, so I just want to let you know I'm in. So that's it.
Okay, and Mirka, just while we're live on this, which one are you here for?
33 Cliff Road, which was number.
The stone post.
Yeah, the
Okay,
stone post.
great. So we're gonna pick you up next. We're gonna go back to 7 Thurston's Way. We're looking at basement fenestration.
Thank you.
Terribly interesting, really riveting topic. And Lindsay, you're gonna represent this?
Yeah.
Okay, can we move forward, please?
You want me to tell you something about it?
Well, while we're getting it teed up, if you're gonna say you don't have a concern, then I'll see if anyone else does and we can move it along.
Well, no, it was on my list and I did have a concern because the stairs are coming out of the house perpendicularly and it just is very unusual for, the railings of a stair to come out perpendicular. I think they could easily make it parallel with the house closer in, so you don't have this
Okay.
oddity jutting out from the house.
Okay, or do a switchback or something like that, so it's not sticking out as much. We'll take a look at it.
Right on the corner.
That's definitely an issue.
Is it up? Okay, I just don't have eyes in the back of my head, my dear. Lindsay, jump in, please.
So, I think it could be mitigated with plantings, like the railings.
I don't think you're gonna get support for it,
So a switchback?
Is there a programmatic reason that's overly compelling that is gonna persuade us? No? Okay. Not to take words from your mouth, but
Yeah.
it sounds like it's a no. Can we change this? There's no windows there, so can we just have it run parallel to the house towards the chimney?
I think they had some mechanicals on that side.
Or the window well?
Something going on that side that they couldn't run it parallel with the
Can you zoom in
building.
on that lower right image?
So a switchback might be
Yes.
preferable.
No, I'm sorry, that one, yeah. Because it'll show if there's utilities there.
There's electrical, but it could go like that.
And what's the thing,
Oh, because they want to make that a bedroom, so they don't, yeah.
no, what's on the wall there?
It looks like a grill.
That's a window well.
This is some
It
kind
could go parallel and
This is their second means
French
deep.
doors in there.
Right, but it could run, so you could put a stair there. You could even do a switchback, it could just be a square.
Let it pop out to the north of the drawing a little bit, but run it parallel to the house. And the door to the living room would just be closer to the bedroom wall. Yeah, it's not rocket science.
Residents. Yeah, well, there is a little bit of a problem in the interior. There's a electrical panel there that
That
involves
doesn't
wires.
disturb it. It doesn't disturb it at all.
If you scale, does someone have the drawing? Can we scale turning that thing? That, first of all, I don't think that stair is properly scaled. With respect to what's gonna be required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 80 inches. It's an 80-inch stair, or it'll be 88 inches. It's not tall enough to. What's the operative thing here is what's the grade outside? Can you go back to the image of the structure showing? Lindsay, is the drawing accurate with respect to the elevation of the grade and the house? It's like an 8-inch lift.
I think it's probably, I wonder if those are 8 1/4.
Yeah, I don't think that the drawing is reflective of accurately scaled. I don't think it's done.
Motion to hold until they come back with a revision
Yeah,
showing it
revise
along
it
the
to show
house.
us the reorientation, how you guys propose it. If you can't do it parallel, do a switchback.
Okay, so board's open to.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Board is open to a switchback.
I think it's gonna be better than not. I think what I'm trying to point out, Angus, is that stair, I don't think is actually going to successfully accomplish what's required under the building code because it's not tall enough relative to grade and the finished floor of the basement.
It can
the
pop
code and
out.
come back to us.
Carrie, please don't crosstalk.
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
So can you please do a section, make sure the drawing is the stairs are gonna work, bring it back in and we'll get it done. Okay, thank you. So motion to hold for revision. Angus?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay, thank you, everyone.
I'm gonna lose power here.
24 Wall Street. Mike Friedman's been sitting here patiently watching the show, and now you're up.
24 Walsh? Is that what you said, 24 Walsh?
24 Walsh.
Michael Friedman, representing 24 Walsh.
Good evening, Mike.
Good evening.
Color change. Why don't you tell us what you got?
The owner would like to change the color of the exterior of the building, the trim, the window sash, casings, corner boards to the Nantucket gray from the white that exists.
Okay.
And the clapboard.
And, go ahead.
All one color.
All
monotone.
one color?
And the front door, she would like to change to the Nantucket Main Street yellow.
Okay. And, let's see.
The other ask was, probably why I'm here is because it's not just in one color, is to keep that that railing and deck that's on the side of the house. So the north face to keep that railing and deck white trim, as well as a front entry stoop, which is off of the main road of Wall Street itself.
And I'm sorry, what's the rest of the trim gonna be?
In Nantucket gray.
Okay, so that's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, so just because she wants that monotone color, I guess, the front, because of the clapboard bushing, she's got that there, they would break up the color in the front. So that front stoop, as you approach that front door, would be white railing, and then the right side of the house, which is the north face, that railing could remain white as well.
Okay, first of all, so this is highlighted. But it's not in, why is it highlighted but not in a?
It's built in 1840.
I gotcha. So it's independently. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Holly on comments or for Mike on color?
This was on my consent list as well.
Okay, hold on one sec. And
I have a question.
go ahead.
For the applicant, have you considered any other clapboard colors with the color scheme that you're proposing?
The owner wanted a darker gray, so that was the color she chose.
Thank you.
Could I just clarify what they want to do?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
So the clapboard would be Nantucket gray.
Correct.
The sash and the trim is Nantucket gray.
Correct.
Just the railing would be white.
As it is, correct.
And, okay,
So the railings, yeah, the railings in that.
On the side
On
deck.
the side deck and the front approach, which is, it's hidden sort of by because I took the picture from the front,
and the door surround is white or gray?
will be gray.
Gray, okay.
Yeah, and then the door color would change.
Very quiet mood.
Yeah, very. Maybe perhaps even somber.
Mhm.
Do you have any?
Oh, and the yellow door, yeah, no,
and a yellow door,
I'm okay with it.
little splash.
Yeah.
Val?
I'm okay.
Angus?
I would be okay if the clapboard were a little bit darker. I'm delighted to hear about the Nantucket gray for the trim,
Okay, thank you.
and I'm okay with the yellow door.
Joe, you're on this one.
That's good, because I've been following and I have no concerns, other than, well, the white railing I questioned, but if nobody else has a concern, I won't let it sway my opinion.
Yeah, because all that
Oh,
north face.
Hold on, Mike, hold on. I have a question for you. The white railing from the front entry side, what's the visibility from the street? Anything?
You can see exactly in the picture there too, the bottom right is the visibility, so you really don't see the railing, you just see the top part of the door.
Okay.
And then-
That would be my only concern is everything else but that.
Yeah, so it matches sort of the white fence that they have around the house, sort of the pickets,
Gotcha.
stay the same on the house itself, and
door
sort of
being
break up the.
white.
monotone.
Joe, does that address your concern at all? Just.
Yeah, I think the tie into the type 2 fence and gate and arbor makes sense, so I have no concerns.
Okay, and Val, you said something about the door.
I just said maybe the door should be white and that would tie it in, but
Okay.
that's just a thought.
And I'm good with the colors as presented now that it's been explained to me
Yeah, sorry.
personally. So, do we
I'll
have
make a motion to approve as submitted.
on your motion?
I'm an aye.
Angus? Oh, oh my God, his head's gonna explode. Everybody, put down your popcorn and watch.
Oh, it's just paint. Okay, yes.
It's just paint.
It's
It's
just
temporary. It only
paint.
lasts for 3 years in coastal environment. Joe,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, you're good to go, Mike.
Appreciate it, thank you.
All right, we're on to 16 Squam Road. Sorry, I scribbled over a little bit. Matt,
Yes.
short and sweet. I know it's a new dwelling, so may not be too short, but hopefully it's sweet.
It's big.
Hopefully you think it's sweet.
When you're
All
ready.
right, so thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is an application for a new dwelling, 16 Squam Road. The structure is located about 540 feet from the road. So it's taken a second to download, but the topography, the lot's pretty narrow, but it is pretty long. So you can see from the site plan, it's probably a little bit north of 550 square feet, 550 feet from the road. There's a MESA area designated to the north and the south. So the area of clearing that we've been allowed to clear is identified as well. So my point in saying that is there's a lot of vegetation that has to remain in place. There's some topo changes on the site. It's kind of an undulating driveway access, and the topography ascends from Squam Road to the rear of the property. So I guess my point is that the visibility we anticipate is going to be pretty minimal. As far as the structure is concerned, it's pretty straightforward. I think the drawings kind of speak for themselves. The trim is white trim, white sash. We tried to take an additive massing approach. Because there is existing topography changes, the site actually slopes from south to north fairly dramatically. So we've kind of located the house in a way that takes advantage of a natural plateau, if you will. But you can see on the west elevation, that's where the foundation is exposed. And we intentionally had the structure terraced down to single-story additive pieces where the topo drops off. So really the primary massing, second floor massing is located, you can see on the south elevation. The right side is where the second floor living area is, and then the idea was that these additive masses tear down in both height and scale. So with that, I would turn it over to the board and look forward to your comments, Mr. Chair.
That was a nice wrap.
Yeah, that music
Thanks,
works.
Matt. You're getting good at it.
Yeah.
I like our music. It's the most gentle, slow it down and you're done music
Yeah.
in the whole
I
island.
didn't know what that was for, honestly. I thought it was someone's phone.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Okay, 16 Squam, your board is Abby, Angus, Connie this time, myself and Val. Does anyone have any concerns?
I have a question.
Okay.
So it sounds like there is some elevation change on the lot. And so it would be helpful to have topo measurements across the lot to sort of get a sense of this. My concern with the overall height would have to do with whether the back of the lot, the western side of it, where the intention is to build, if that's higher. So my question is, what is the elevation of the driveway at Squam Road versus where the house is sited?
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Please.
There is topo. The topography is on the site plan, but I'd have to get you that exact elevation change. But I believe the finished floor elevation is somewhere around 54. And I think, I'd say that there's, I'd give you the exact dimension. I'm hesitant to give you something specific, but I think it's in the range of like 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet. It does go back, like I said, 550 feet. So it is a fairly gradual slope, but I would say that it's probably somewhere in the range of 15 feet.
15 feet higher in the back than in the front?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to, just to follow on to that, 15 feet at the extreme point of the lot relative to the house, or 15 feet, what distance?
I would say from the Squam Road to the finished floor elevation, plus or minus a foot or two.
Okay,
I can
so
kind of,
It's going up
It's a gradual slope.
yes, and it is going up.
or going down?
Yeah. And I can cut a section through there to show
Yeah,
you
I
exactly
think it'd
what
just
it
be
is.
beneficial to, it
Yeah.
sounds like we're going to go that way. Angus, on the architecture?
I think the architecture would fit well into the landscape. I just, I guess my only request would be a site section from the house to the road. And what I was hoping to do was to get a height pole out there of the length of the ridge, so that it could also be viewed from the adjacent roads, Quidnet Path and Quidnet Road,
just to sort of see that total height.
So ridge pole on the primary ridge. Abby?
Yeah, my main concern was the 30-foot height. But, yeah, I think it remains, the additive massing is good. It's just that, you know, the main mass that's at 30 feet, that's awfully tall.
Okay, so ridge poles in a view, because the height's a potential concern, but the architecture is good.
In the site section.
Connie?
Yes, it's a very large building, and I appreciate that it's not overly fenestrated. Usually that's what happens. I appreciate the architecture. I think it's appropriate. And for some reason, to me, the west elevation just looks awkward, but I don't know why. But overall, I think it's appropriate.
Okay, so I have nothing to add. I mean, I think, Matt, overall, it's appropriate. The massing's good, and we are gonna get a motion for ridge poles of the main ridge and a site section. And there's been really no comments other than on that west elevation. So we'll hold for that information and perhaps some minor revisions.
Sounds good. That's my motion.
On your motion.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Matt. Do we have Mirka still?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have you go at the end, just not to penalize you, but because other people have been waiting.
No worries. I appreciate
Okay?
it.
I
Sounds
just want to
good.
make sure you're still with us. 15 Allen's Lane, as-built fence.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here.
Hi, Tori, good evening. So if you could kind of quickly walk us through the site plan.
Sure thing.
Are you sharing?
Nope. Can you share, Fiona, or somebody, if that's okay?
Fiona is happy to. You can see it.
I would like to share the next one. This one I don't have.
Lighting up like a Christmas tree, for God's sake.
Fence has always been there.
Yeah.
They might have replaced it, but.
Yeah, I did. I can start, Steve, if you want with the conversation.
Yeah, go ahead.
The fence was there, as Val mentioned. I did include a picture of the fence. This is in response to a violation letter. I was asked to help get it in on time to accommodate the request of the HGC board. I understand that this may have been brought to the attention because there was an accident of sorts. There was a prior fence. I've included the violation letter with the photographs from, I believe, Google Maps that were included with the violation letter from years ago, in addition to a picture of the former fence from the individual that put the new fence in. Kathy and I did discuss that the original fence also was not approved. I believe, if I understand correctly, she researched the HGC file. I believe there may be a 4 to 6 inch difference in the height of the new fence by nature of what's available off the shelf at the lumberyard nowadays. It is the same style fence, the same type of wood, the same finish as far as natural weather, pine. And you can tell kind of in relation to the window, the difference in the couple inches. But that's just a matter of what was available now versus what was originally there prior. With that, we look forward to your conversation. And let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks. Why don't we get a little follow-up on that from Holly?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this fence was replaced without HTC like-kind approval a few years ago. And of course, after this recent accident where it was involving a child that got hit by a car, it was brought to staff's attention by town administration. Per the 2019 Google Street View, which we use quite a bit, the previous fence was a type 1 type picket fence, which is about 3 to 4 foot tall. The fence also provided the site distance minus the shrub, which was on an angle, which is included in my staff comments. The new fence is a picket-type board, but much taller and without the necessary sight distance so you can see people. The prior fence predated any HDC guidance on the location. That's why it's along the road. And this was way back when First Way was a dirt road.
Yes.
So the new fence is not appropriate as installed, nor is it safe. Fences today not along property lines and located more side and rear of homes. Replacing fences are one thing, but the fence was not in kind or like kind in regards to its height and without the angle at the point of intersection and below 3 feet for both the fence and the shrub to allow that sight distance required by the bylaw. I would recommend to revise it to a 3 to 4 foot tall type 1 picket and put the angle back as it previously was. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Holly. All right, the board is Angus, Abby, and do Carrie, me, and Val. And I'd ask you guys just to be succinct and let's tell them what we want to see there. Angus and then Abby.
I agree with Holly.
All right, and that's what we're looking for in terms of succinctness. Okay, so Angus has spoken. Abby?
Too long, too high.
Long, too high.
No
Carrie?
interruption. Sorry.
Ditto.
It doesn't
Ditto,
stop long.
since COVID. Val?
I think I worked on this lady's house, I don't know how long ago, and there was always some sort of fence like this there. I don't think it was 3 or 4 feet either. I mean, maybe this is a little bit too high, how they have it set right now, but it was always a stockade fence. I go by here every day.
Okay, and
Aside from the safety stuff, that should be fixed for sure. I went by it this morning, it didn't even look any different to me.
right, okay. And this picture is from when, Holly?
I don't know when that is, but there's a 2019 picture from Google Maps that had the angle at the corner of Allen's Way. And, yeah, it's in my letter. Yeah, so it's, yeah, up. Yeah, so see how it's angled down.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Shorter
a
there.
square top, isn't it?
No, it's stockade.
Yeah, but it's wider,
Shorter.
isn't it?
What? Shorter.
There, oh, I see what it's doing.
You can
Yeah.
see there's more window exposed
Okay.
in the old picture.
I mean, it's there. I'm okay with this effect here where the portion that is approaching the intersection be lowered. In this kind of a gentle slope. And that in the future, the replacement is not a solid board fence. It doesn't meet our guidelines. So that would be a concern, but for now, if they modified it for conformance to safety requirements, and then the approval would indicate that, in big capital letters with red asterisks, that this is approval for the life of this fence and not its replacements.
I have a question.
Yeah,
The last page, page 14, is that the prior fence?
no, that's the more recent fence.
Looks completely weathered in.
I can't see
It's
it.
not right now.
Well, yeah, so this is the one
Yeah.
I'm just
Sorry.
seeing. Sorry, Tori. So this is the one that is on the screen and the one Val's looking is the one that I think of when I think of this. It had been there for a while, and then it was never approved, and then it was replaced with something that was never approved. And I'm just saying that at this point, it seems like it's there. But there's safety concerns, they need to be addressed. We could address them in a way that resembles how it used to be. And after this fence is gone, after it needs to be replaced, which seems to be happening quite a bit in this area, or this particular property, the approval is for this particular fence. It's not for this fence in perpetuity.
Mr. Chair, so to answer Val's question, that picture was the one I took.
Was what?
That's the picture I took for the inspection.
So that's current.
Yeah, that's a current one.
And so just to put a picture to it, what I'm suggesting is this would come down to like here, and it would slope back and up like the other one did. You know, you just get rid of the top rail, you cut these tops, so it looks natural, and it would just kind of slope up as the other one did.
Well, and this is, you can see, jacked up along the way. It's not right on the dirt.
And I think they need to plant something along the street.
Is it on the property line?
Yeah, they need to, like, at the base, not like crazy, but throw some hydrangea or something in there, some rose or ghost, I don't know.
What did you say rots the fences really quick?
Yeah,
Plant that.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, could I, when you're ready, say something?
Yeah, that we're considering a termite bushel. Go ahead, Tori.
More than happy to accommodate whatever the board decides. I was gonna suggest, could we maybe from the corner, where the bush and the split rail meets the beginning of the fence at Allen's, could we do a slope up, which I believe you were just suggesting, to the front corner of the house, and then leave it in place from there back, and happy to accommodate a planting as well.
I mean, it's gonna be up to everyone, but, I'm thinking it would be a convex, how would that be, concave or convex? It wouldn't be a straight line slope, it would have a slight curvature to it.
Yes.
So elliptical, quarter of an ellipse, elongated ellipse. And I think just one section, because it's gonna look, I don't think you're gonna be able to actually do it otherwise, and I think how it was before was it was just one section. So that closer to the intersection, you're at like 3 feet, and then you run that elliptical curve up to 8. Does that?
Do you want me to
resonate
do an exhibit A
Yeah,
with just a
yes, that'd
sketch
be
on
great.
the
So it'd be
photograph?
Exhibit A showing the elliptical slope, and the approval is for this fence as modified with any future fence to be not to be as such, but in conformance with the guidelines.
And that would be my motion in addition to every third, fourth panel
Having
planting.
plant material.
I mean, any sort of planted material that would
Climbing hydrangea on the roadside.
climbing hydrangea every third panel.
Third section.
Section.
Mr. Chair, I hate to prolong this, but just keep in mind that there may be vegetation that's already in the town's right-of-way. I do know that town administration is concerned about that corner, even with that shrub. And the owner will probably be, if they haven't already, receive a letter from town administration on that note. So to the point of adding additional shrubbery, I don't know exactly, bless you, the town right-of-way is in relationship to the property line and the fence.
Actually, Ollie, you brought up a point that I want to see if we can address while we have it here. This is the prior existing fence that we're seeing now.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's at least, I would say,
2 feet
excuse
further
me,
back.
at least 3.5 feet off the road. Can we go to the more recent one? It might even be 4 feet. I'd say it's 4 feet off.
If I may, through you, Mr. Chair, according to the contractor, it's in the same spot.
No, it's definitely not. I mean,
Yeah, look at like the old picture where it has the little pedestal that is like telephone or cable or.
yeah. So
That's,
yeah.
what, like a foot?
So I think
I think
I
what's.
hate to have this stuff happen where we get a motion, but I think we need to qualify the motion to indicate that we're not approving encroachments on the town, into the town easement.
Yeah, that's not our intention.
So that we just want to make clear so that if the town says, oh, I just don't want it to be argued that the HDC approved it closer to the street. So that would just be an annotation on the.
Or can we just hold the motion till the there's a clarification of where the town's land ends and where the fence is, and just come back.
Yeah, or we could,
There.
I don't remember seeing a surveyed plan.
No.
Tori, I think, well, this is what we need to do. I don't want to, the only thing is we're not the body that, okay, I want to be really careful here. We're not the body that determines whether someone has to move a fence on or off their property. We're the body that approves a fence on a property, because we can't approve a fence on someone else's property unless that someone else is the applicant, and that someone else, in this instance, may or may not be the town. So I think that it's safe to say that we are approving the fence subject to it being on the property of the owner.
We're
And
happy to
that's-
accommodate a surveyed plan.
And that's gonna address it.
Yep. And then
so-
I also just wanted to point out that we're happy to address the plantings at the corner, holly, the bush and all that, if that needs to be part of the motion.
No, we're not doing we wouldn't do plants just because unless it's a vegetative screening, we typically don't get involved with removals, but I
Okay.
appreciate the offertory. So I just want to clear, there's two tracks here. One is the town, administration with respect to, rights and roads away and traffic safety and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We're not involved in that. We're involved in approving or disproving fences. I believe the motion is to approve the fence subject to an Exhibit A that shows modification with a slope that shows, that indicates planting every third panel, and the annotation on the application to indicate that the fence we're approving is to be on the property of the applicant.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. And that's an exhibit A through staff.
It'll be Exhibit A, yep. Let's
And
see,
then-
so that'll be Angus on the motion,
Aye.
Abby,
No.
Carrie, were you?
Aye. Yeah, I was on
Carrie,
it. Aye. Yep.
Val,
Aye.
and me as an aye. Okay.
Okay, great. I just have one follow-up question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, that's an exhibit A through staff, and I'll provide the surveyed plan to confirm that it's on the property of the owner in order to
Yeah, well,
accommodate that.
that'll be necessary at the time of inspection. That'll be
Yep.
taken up by the HTC inspector, who is, I understand, authorized to start carrying a firearm, so.
Okay,
12,
great. If I
yeah,
could screen share on this one, Fiona, that'd be great.
32, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, I'd like to see if we can pick this one up. It's an arbor. And is Exmart present and accounted for? Not yet.
Okay. And can I screen share? Is that okay?
Yep, I'm getting old.
Oh, actually, I have to bring you up as a panelist,
Oh,
Tori.
and we got Mirica
Stand
too,
by.
let's not forget.
Stand by.
We're on 32 Halbert. We don't know if 16 and a half Williams be heard, and we have Mirica.
So you should be okay to screen share now, Tori.
No, that was 30 North Beach Street. She's got 33 Cliff Stone Post. But thank you. I was thinking the same thing earlier. Tori, are you up and running?
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Zoom.
So let me just zoom in here.
Oh, this
So-
looks like a lot of pictures.
I know I'm trying to,
And they're not very clear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, we're not seeing a lot of clarity, but this is for an arbor, correct?
There's 3 arbors total. I just wanted to clarify since application. Here's the site plan as a starting point. Can you see this clearly?
Yeah, yeah, well, no, it's kind of blurry, but it works.
Okay, so originally they had applied to put a single arbor here and here, if you can see my arrow, and a double here, but they've changed their mind about the double and want a third single one here. In addition to that, they've changed the design of the arbor to this.
Yikes. That's not what's
Only
in-
one is visible from Willard Street. The other 2 are not visible, which we can see from the photos here.
What was the name of the old jail, the old Goal?
Old goal.
Old Goal.
Looks
Yeah.
like
So one arbor is here behind this, to the left of the front of the building. One is here. That's the only one visible from the street. And the third is back here behind the house.
Okay, Tori, I think the reactions are primarily with respect to the design.
Okay.
Can we get, let's see, our board, your board is gonna be Angus, Abby, who, Abby looked at this one, so that covers that. Joe, myself, and Val. And unless someone's concerned about locations, I'd like to just see if we can pin down a design. We're here, let's say, standard arbor, 4x4 posts, so-and-so.
Mr. Chair, just wanted to let you know that that arbor was not the one that was submitted.
No.
So
Yeah.
whenever you
Yeah,
approve, we need
no,
a
that's
copy of.
definitely a different, that's like a baby pergola.
It is.
Pergola, sorry.
Yeah.
Said, Joe, you want to weigh in design-wise?
I'd like to see if there's some photographic examples of something similar. I guess I'm less concerned with something that's more internal to the lot and more concerned if this is going to be on Hulbert Ave directly.
Gotcha. And Tori, did you have any other sample images?
No, but I can certainly provide some. And just to answer Joe's question, the only place this would be visible is from Willard Street. The other two would not be visible from Albert at all.
Okay. Does anyone have a concern with these arbors going to like a traditional Walpole woodworkers, Nantucket 4x4 post with if there's a gate, it's, like a board fence gate, like just a standard arbor approach? And maybe Tori, give us a few examples and let us know the color, and then we can proceed with this when you turn in the submission.
Yeah, sure. And it's natural weather cedar, just so I can answer
Yeah.
that question.
Okay, and then just update the site plan so definitively we know the locations, and that will pin everything down into nice little bows and ribbons.
Yep, so held for revisions?
For additional information and,
Okay.
yeah. Is that your motion, Abby?
Yes.
On your motion?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. 16.5 Williams is.
Thank you.
Exmar here.
No, but I just did want to let you know that this application was originally tracking with 16 Williams, and 16 Williams has not been built yet. So just so you know for future.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And Mirka, that means you.
Mirka, did you want
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Yes, I would like to screen share if I can.
Okay, I'll promote you to
Please.
panelist.
Thank you.
Computer died.
You're getting us at our finest. Our computers are dying, and so are we.
It's not much there anyway.
But I'm enlivened by great gates, smartest gates ever. We think so.
Hopefully you can hear me, and I will try to share my screen now.
So upset. My retirement. It's not what I thought 6 months ago it was going to be, but you know what? Life changes.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Yes, we're ready. Oh, I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please start.
All right. So this application is for, the the owner saw this beautiful stone post in Sconset. This property is located on Cliff Road, but he was hoping that maybe we can recreate something similar for his entryway. The proposal, and I will maybe highlight them a little bit more, would be at the beginning of the driveway, two bigger ones, and then smaller version of them at the entry before the front door. So practically this is the application. The whole landscape was already approved. The pool was approved. The cobblestone apron was approved. So this is really just additional add-ons to the entryway. And this way I will leave it to you.
Okay. Let's see. What?
Question.
Yes, please.
Do we have a picture of the proposed, I mean, is it supposed to be just like the Atlantic House in Sconset, or is it just a, what size?
So the idea was to match, but if you prefer or if you suggest to do smaller or anything, I'm here to listen to your directions.
So you don't have any exact dimensions of this post, like how tall or?
I will just assume the assumption will be maybe 18 by 18 and 3 feet tall.
3 feet?
Okay, as opposed to what's shown in the image. Because those would be probably 4 feet wide by, I mean, depending on that gate, unless that gate is only a foot and a half wide. So proportionately, that is probably 4 foot wide, 4 foot deep, and. Yeah, Mirka, I don't, I mean, we can just determine, a size, but, can you tell us specifically what size you're proposing?
And I think your microphone might be off, so I just feel you are asking what would be the size. So in my case, I would like to propose something 18 by 18 for an entry, 18 by 18 square and 3 feet high. That would be for an entry, and then smaller, maybe 12 by 12 by 30 inches at the entry for the walkway to the front door. Would that be acceptable?
I think Mickey's up there.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of happy faces, I think, in terms of the concept.
I am absolutely open to suggestions or.
Hold on one second, Mirka, I want to back up, we're kind of losing process here. First of all, we have questions, did we have them answered?
Well,
Yeah, I was asking where the dimensions were, because she showed a picture of the Atlantic House in Sconset, but there were, that's a much different.
Yeah.
Setting.
So, okay, so we don't, so that may be, so we can specify if we decide to go this way, but and Mirka said 18 by 18 by how tall, Mirka?
36 for entry. I'm just doing little notes on the plan right now. 18 by 18 by 36.
Okay, we're not even commenting yet. Mickey, well, any questions for Holly?
yeah. That's not, what is that?
Well, what she provided as an example is from Sconset, and I think the context needs to be looked at. It was made for Sconset. There's history there as a, hotel or kind of a place. This is completely different, and I think this needs to be simpler and more traditional in this area. So that would
Yeah, the only place that we have them I'm aware of is Stone
Yeah, it's the stone barn down on.
Barn
North
at
Beach.
Stone, there's a road in Sconset off
Stone Post.
Stone Post Way and at the cemetery. So, I think what we need is context photos. We're gonna hear Mickey, and Mirka, you're not getting support for the concept. So I think you need to build the support by presenting precedent that we may not be thinking of or aware of, and also getting us maybe certainly some drawings and not just plan, and some type of maybe a perspective. If they want to invest the kind of time into that. Mickey, you want to go ahead?
We agree with what Holly just said.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
If I may,
Yep, go ahead.
just as I said, I'm here to just hear your feedback. So I'm happy to bring it back to my client and go if we can come with or more examples, or we can rethink this idea and maybe come back with something else.
I mean, I would prefer to see like some granite posts that are old.
And that would be ultimately the option.
And I'm not suggesting that that's approvable, and I'm just saying.
There are lots of options out there.
Okay, does anyone else want to add anything that I didn't call on?
I
Dale?
don't think right on the street is appropriate either. It should be at least partway in the driveway.
on the back side of what would be privet or something,
I don't know.
not the
Behind
front
that.
face.
Something like, I'm assuming.
And
Karen.
we'll view when you come back so we can see context.
And Joe, I think, is on this one, so I want to make sure I get his input.
I want to say something too after Joe.
And Angus. Joe?
Sure. So I reviewed this for consent, and I had two questions. One was the size, which we've already discussed. And I actually think since you use such a specific precedent, it might make sense to actually put a tape measure to those so we have a reference. And the second question was, what's the, are there other stone? I see stone on the plan, but I'd be curious to know if there are other stone walls that are present in the existing approval, because they might be a jumping off point for something that's appropriate and consistent with what's already been approved there, versus what looks to be more like almost like I don't know what you call those, river rocks, or more of a round stone. So I just didn't have any context, so that's why I didn't put it on consent. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. So Mirka, more pictures, give some street address and more detail, and we can pick it up, and I think take into consideration the concept of alternative material, and then if you provide alternative material, again, precedent photos with locations.
The only thing I would
Oh, I'm sorry, Angus.
add is to, just to go up and down the street and look at what is there, because this seems out of context.
Understood, understood.
So get a motion to hold for information and revision.
So moved.
And may I ask, and I wasn't able to join for the consent list, you pull out the beach side, and I've been told that it's been going to be tracked with Matt's new building. There was just only concern about the arbor. Is it something we can revisit now, or I am just dismissed at this point for this
I think
application?
we're gonna wrap it all into one.
Okay, like new building with the hardscape?
Pardon me? The hardscape is gonna play into, because there's gonna be modifications to the layout and the footprint of the structure perhaps.
All right, I
Okay.
appreciate the explanation.
Okay, yeah, no, sure. All right, so we have a motion to hold for revisions and information made by Angus. Did we vote on that? Angus?
Yeah.
Abby?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I. And can I get a motion to approve minutes that are, can I see yours?
August 19th, September 2nd, September 16th, September 23.
Those are the minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Members here present. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, I'm a no. Do we have a motion do we have a John McLaughlin? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Again, members present, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, carries unanimously. Thanks, everyone.
Just so everybody knows,
Good night.
Have fun on